What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another live stream. Sorry, I am a little bit late today. It's 9:05 instead of 9 o'clock. I got up a little bit later, about 10 minutes later than usual, so of course the stream is going to be starting a little bit later. But here we are, back again on Monday. Hope you all had a great weekend. I did. I watched Dune this weekend. I don't know if you guys were following that. It just got released a couple days ago. But yeah, now we're back watching the markets, trying to make some money. We've got a couple of stocks that we're going to be watching today, right? DWAC we've been watching for a bit, so of course we're going to continue watching that. I'm very curious to see what's going to happen with it. PROG as well, right? We're still in this key range right here between $3.50 and $4. We're going to hopefully be breaking out to the upside sometime soon. And Junior Lewis says, good morning. Yes, Wasa Brie Bread. We are going to watch Gree as well. We can definitely take a look at Gree. Not green. But we have, in the past covered Gree quite a bit, and it looks like we are actually bouncing off of this resistance/support level that we had established probably way back, because I have not pulled up the Gree chart for a while, but you can see that in the past, $30 or $28, $28.75, it looks like acted as a bit of support for us, as well as her resistance, and now it looks like we might be having some trouble with it, so we're going to be taking a look at that. But I believe, for those of you who are interested in Gree stock, because this is a stock that a lot of people were holding in the past views of this channel, back when it was SPRT, way back before the merger. This stock has been just tanking and tanking until just yesterday, or last Friday, I guess, when analysts upgraded it, I believe, to a price target of $82. So that is good for the stock, right? Obviously, it got a lot of buying pressure going. Hopefully, we don't just get rejected off this $28 level right here, $28.80. Looks like is where we had drawn that in the past. Maybe 29 would be a little bit more accurate, but let's hope. Let's hope that it keeps going. Let's hope that it doesn't face too much resistance here. And Junior Lewis says, go BBIG. Yeah, we can take a look at that as well. We will take a look at that. Yeah, back up above 5 in a big way. Looks like maybe some news just came out for BBIG. Let's see. Reports that spinoff Cryptide launched a joint venture. CW Machines JV will be focused on simplifying consumer ownership of Bitcoin mining equipment. Okay, so this is good. It looks like, 8:30 when they announced this, they did pump up almost 10% on that, right? They were down around 518 up to 556, so maybe it was like a 7% boost in their price. All right, so let's figure out what's going on with BBIG real quick here. And it looks like we've got 13 people on the stream, 5 likes. Let's see if we can't boost that up a little bit, just to maybe 10 likes. Maybe we can get 10 likes, get some more people coming into the stream really early on. It's great to boost the numbers up a little bit. So with BBIG, the launch of this joint venture entity signifies the start of our expansion into the broader crypto and blockchain market, okay? And that's the Cryptide CEO speaking right there, Brian McFadden. We are excited to be working with the industry veterans such as WADA management team and looking forward to the introduction of NFTs and smart contracts into the Bitcoin mining space. Okay, so it sounds like basically Cryptide, the company that Bitcoin or that that Vinco Ventures, that BBIG is going to be launching as a spin-off dividend. It looks like that company is simplifying consumer ownership of Bitcoin mining equipment through smart contract technology. So a good thing for anyone who's looking to be buying into the Cryptide dividend news, and essentially, for BBIG as well, right? Because they are the ones that are going to be launching this thing come December 27th about, right? That's when the company has said they're going to aim for the release of the Cryptide dividend, or at least the record date. Mohazab H. Fakori, I really like your videos. It's clean and easy to understand. I appreciate that. And Mark got in with 70K at 214. So let's take a look at Mark real quick. Let's see what that is now. If you're up, man, let's see. Let's see. It looks like we closed at 211. We're hovering around 2. Hopefully that's going to act as a nice support for us. Hopefully we're going to be moving up off of 2. It looks like we saw a little bit of a bounce in after hours on Friday. Hopefully that's going to be the case today, right? Hopefully we don't move below, because Mark was up pretty big the other day, right? It was up above 250 at one point. It got just to 250 actually on Friday. So hopefully we can regain some of that momentum. It was good to see us at least get back above 2. Under 2 really isn't a good thing because it was starting to act as resistance for us. You could see in after hours on Thursday night. We didn't want to be below 2 with Mark stock. So Unite Entirely says, good morning all. Good morning to you. And JD Guz says, good morning. PH Dragon, good morning to you. It looks like we've got some of the regulars in here. So that's good to see. And Lucid, it looks like, was moving up in pre-market. We're still up in pre-market, actually. We're still up significantly. If you look at the 10-day chart, we're still up near all-time highs for the stock, right? Anything close to $40 is near all-time highs. So we are going to be opening up fairly close to that. Hopefully we can actually see another little bit of a spike in Lucid stock come open. We'll see. We'll see. Jordan Israel Peterson, good morning, Rob. Gave my like. I appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. PROG stock is moving closer towards 350, so that's not great, right? We would rather PROG start moving up in pre-market, but it's not bad, right? The fact that we're still above 350 gives me hope with PROG, right? As long as we can stay above that, especially as we get closer to November 19th, the strike date for a lot of those options contracts that are going to be expiring with a 350 strike price and a $4 strike price. Ideally, we'll be able to get above 4 before November 19th. We have about 18 days left. Not many trading days, only probably 14 trading days. So we'll see. We'll see if we can do it. Yeah, but Mark stock is an interesting one, right? We saw a big movement yesterday, or well, Friday, I should say. And we'll see if that volume can come back, because we did see massive volume. 11 million shares traded in that 10 minutes. 8 million there. So hopefully we can get some more volume in Mark. More people will be coming in. Maybe this was someone who had some kind of inside knowledge buying up a bunch of shares. We'll see. We'll see if that big boost in price pays off for them. Let's see. So what else should we be watching today? We've got Lucid, PROG, and DWAC. And I will dedicate this left screen. I guess we can take a look at GREE again. I know a lot of people, some people might have just gotten in, and some people were interested in this when it was up. It was up about 40% yesterday, or Friday, Friday. It was up about 40%. We reached highs in after hours of $30. And we're pretty close to where we closed. We're very close. We closed around 27, and right now we're hovering at 26.70, so very close to 27. Hopefully, a lot of people have been bag holding this for a while. If you look the past year, you can see most of the people ended up getting screwed when this merger went through. When it went when it became GREE instead of SPRT, a lot of people got screwed during that. Zach Taylor, DWACW might be worth a look today. Down pretty big, PM. Let's take a look at DWACW. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like it is down a bit. Yeah, these warrants have just been tanking. Yeah, that's interesting. I guess, they are a bit less well known than TWAC. In fact, far less well known. And we can pull up the Google Trends data. So let's take a look at that. And we can see just how much more popular DWAC is than the warrants. Right here. It's going to be very interesting, I think. So, yeah, you can see the amount of people searching for DWAC versus DWACW is pretty significant. DWACW is this red line, and DWAC is the blue. So pretty much nobody is searching for the warrants compared to the stock itself, and that's understandable. They're a bit less. They're not going to be as well known, obviously, as the underlying stock. But what's interesting to note is that the warrants are still fundamentally a bit undervalued, intrinsically at least, compared to the stock. Right? If you actually look at the exercise price, it's $11.50 for the warrants. So really, obviously, it shouldn't quite add up exactly because there is some additional risk with the warrants. There's always this scenario that could play out where DWAC ends up being worth under $11.50, and then the warrants would be worthless. So there is some additional risk there. But if you really just add in the exercise price to the warrants, it looks like you could be getting DWAC whenever you can exercise them for about $40 if you were to buy the warrants right now. So Joseph Agnello says, I'm liking FAMI today. Let's take a look at that, because I am still holding FAMI. Yeah, we're playing around 37. I like that we were able to get above it in pre-market. Hopefully, we'll see a couple of green bars right around open, moving us back up above 37, because that is significant resistance for us, right? We've used it as support and resistance in the past, but let's take a look at a slightly longer time frame. Yeah, so hopefully we can get back above 37. You can see a couple of times we've gotten stuck in that range or gotten shot off of it, but hopefully we can get back above 37. After that, we're looking at 40, and after that, the all-time resistance at 50 cents. So we'll see what we can do with FAMI. I'm hoping. Are you guys not seeing the screen? My bad about that. Thank you for pointing that out, Zach Taylor. I really appreciate that. Some people are just going to let me sit here and not show you guys the screen. That's good. Thank you very much, Zach. I appreciate that. So now we've got the screen up. There you go. I guess a lot of people may actually just be here for the commentary. They might not actually be interested in watching the screen. They might listen to this more like it's a podcast and just listen to what I'm talking about. But yeah, thank you for pointing that out because I was definitely looking at charts for a lot of the time and pointing to stuff with the mouse. So I was expecting that everyone was seeing that with me. But this is good. Yeah. That's something that I would notice if it was a video, but when I'm doing these live streams, I have a couple of screens pulled up, and I don't end up having the actual recording software visible to me, so I don't know what the stream looks like for the most part, right? I can actually look at it way over to the left over here, but I don't pay attention to it most of the time. So Saucy Fredo says, I'm bag holding PHUN, how do I get out? Thoughts? So PHUN, let's take a look. And if you want out of a stock, there are a couple of ways that I like to get out of stocks, especially stocks that I'm down on, right? Especially stocks that are still relatively volatile. So with PHUN, let me pull up Rob, or we could even do it here. We could look at it here. It depends on what your cost basis is, how well this is going to work. But if you look at the options, sometimes I just like to sell call options for a stock and end up collecting a premium. And then if the stock moves up, then I end up making some money. If it moves down, I have some protection to the downside. But typically, if I'm selling these options, I do want to get out of the stock. And you can set a different strike date. It depends on what you're interested in. But typically, a good way to get out of stocks, in my opinion, is by looking at the options contracts. And if you can find one for a strike price that you're happy with, say PHUN. It's trading at $4.29, about $4.20 in the pre-market. If you look at the options contracts, you could maybe find one that's a $5 strike price, and there's a decent chance that we could expire above $5. It's not that far from where we are currently. Obviously, we could drop more, and if you're just looking to get out of it, then, the best way to get out of a stock is just to sell it. But if you are willing to hold a bit longer, you could sell some options contracts, take the chance that it will lose a little bit of value, but then you could collect some premium on the options contracts. It's just my opinion, though. 491. Yeah, so the thing is, it's trading at 420 right now, right? It's trading at 419, 420, 418, around there in the pre-market. So this isn't financial advice, by the way. This is just, my opinion on what I might consider doing if I was down on money on one of these stocks and I was looking to get out. Something you can do is you could sell the $4 call right here. You can see, obviously, these will update in just a moment. They'll probably actually get a little bit cheaper, unfortunately. But, say you sell the $4 call for $1 premium. That actually means that you're essentially selling the stock for $5, but you have to hold it until November 19th. So, obviously, it could lose some value. But if you bought it at $4.91 and it didn't move at all, if it stayed above $4, then you could get out of it and essentially have made a little bit on that trade even. So that is a possibility. So pre-market, and your handsome says Unite entirely. I appreciate that. Thank you, Unite. And loading up on PHUN. Yeah, so PHUN, as we've looked at in the past, we can pull up the market cap for it, but it is a very low market cap, especially compared to DWAC, which is the company that it tends to trade in sympathy with. But we can pull up the market cap right here. So $361 million market cap. I'll pull up DWAC's, but let's see also if there's any news. It looks like there haven't been any stories over the weekend. The last post on PHUN on Yahoo Finance is 3 days ago. So DWAC, the market cap right here. So obviously, if you're in on PHUN, you know about DWAC. The Trump pump basically is why these were both rising so much. But $2.43 billion market cap on DWAC, $361 million on PHUN. Obviously, PHUN is going to be a little bit riskier, a lot more volatile. The potential to make more money, the potential to lose more money, because it's just so much easier to move a $360 million market cap stock. Saucy Fredo, from what I know, PHUN has nothing to do with DWAC. I believe we can pull it up right here, the original story. Let's see, Trump pump stocks. Not necessarily that it's directly tied to DWAC, but rather that it's tied to the Trump pump, which is why DWAC was moving up as well. Let's see. Yes. So here we go. The initial story that came out when these stocks started pumping. So DWAC is pumping because it's going to be the SPAC that takes Donald Trump's company public. PHUN was pumping when DWAC was pumping because it was tied to Trump in the past. It helped run Trump and Pence's re-election campaign, and speculators were betting on another partnership with this new media company that's being taken public with DWAC. And Mark, it was Reddit rumors, right? Reddit had some rumors going on. Let's see if we can't find the quote right here. Yeah, okay. So the penny stock Mark was linked to Trump's company following rumors on Reddit about a potential 5-year contract signed with the organization. So that's why PHUN was pumping, at least initially. And if you look, you can see it in the charts. If you look at the past 30 days for PHUN and 30 days for DWAC, if we zoom in a little bit, you can see that the charts look pretty much identical, right? They ran up, they had a big spike up here, moved down both that day and then up in the pre-markets, and have since been fading away, stagnating. So they're pretty much the same stock. Oftentimes you'll see them moving very closely with each other, but let's see. I would be patient on PHUN, says JD Gaz. Yeah, I'm being patient with DWAC. I'm not looking to sell that one. Not looking to sell that yet. Been averaging down. It's a rough week. Yep, it has. Last week was tough. Buying the dip on Mark again. Let's go Mark, says Manny C. And Jinx of all trades, morning, my new little DWAC gem. Yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping that DWAC, we see some good action and can get back above 70. That would be nice. It was crazy on Friday. We saw this massive red bar, ton of volume, bopped us back below $70, and then we used it as resistance a couple of times. That was unfortunate to see near the end of the day. It would have been great to end above, and we might have ended up trending up if that had happened. Adam Walsh, what do you think about taking a short position on Xcla before earnings on Friday? Let's take a look at Xcla. I'm always very wary of short positions, especially if they're long term, but short-term short positions, I'm not the most afraid of them, but I am very wary of shorting stocks just because there is the potential for infinite losses, and you never know if a stock is going to skyrocket 100% in the day or more, and you might just be down big. I tend to not be very worried when buying a stock, right, because it can only go down to zero, but with shorting, I do get very nervous about that, right, because there is the potential to lose more money than you put in. But let's see, Xcla Technologies. Let's pull up their stats. Let's pull it up here. So, small market cap, 312 million. Let's see. Global company chooses Dayton to support future growth, hundreds of new jobs thanks to CareSource partnership. All right. Now, why would you be looking to short this before the earnings? Typically, I mean, stocks do tend to go up. Let's look at the past and see what's happened over the past year on their earnings. It looks like their earnings haven't had the largest effect, but they have tended to trend down after them. Yeah, they do tend to trend down. This earnings call really beat them down, and this earnings call didn't have too much of an effect. So the earnings calls on Xcla in the past don't seem to have done too much to the stock price, but potentially this was overhyped. So let's see what the news was on the 25th. Okay, so they announced a partnership with a franchisor. All right, interesting. So yeah, it could be a good idea. I haven't looked enough into it to justify myself shorting it. I would do a lot of research before shorting anything. Maybe yeah. I mean, potentially that could be a good idea. There is increased volume right before the earnings call. We'll have to see. Maybe if that starts dying down, we could start fading away. It looks like long term we do tend to trend down on this stock, and it has been a pattern in the past that we do spike up pretty big, and you see those couple of spikes. We just had one not long ago. It wasn't that significant, but we do tend to trend down after that. And it looks like Lucid is having some big moves in the pre-market. If you look right here, Lucid is doing pretty good. In this bar, we got a ton of volume, ton of people buying up Lucid. Wow. Yeah, this is really skyrocketing Lucid right here. We're getting close. We just got up above 40 on this one bar. We were down at 39.40 before that, so really cool stuff with Lucid. We're doing pretty good. Oh, Adam Walsh. Sorry, shorting was the wrong term. Just meant to hold for a couple days. Okay, yeah. So yeah, there's a difference. Yeah, between holding the stock through earnings and shorting it. Yeah, it might be worth holding. It might be worth holding. Yeah. Haven't done too much research on Xcla. Not too sure what they're all about, but we do see that $2 has been acting as a bit of a resistance for them. You can see that we tried bouncing off of it even today in the pre-market. So we're gonna see, maybe the earnings could get us back above. Short interest on DWAC today. Yeah, we'll take a look at that. We haven't pulled up Vortex yet, so we'll see what we've got there. Let's pull up DWAC. Let's see. Okay, so still Vortex isn't giving us any real data, but you can see the borrow change today, 368,000, so about 368,000. This looks like an additional 368,000 shorted shares because it will show negative when the bar change is decreasing. So it looks like some additional people shorting this thing. Looks like some additional shorts coming in. Speedy G, good morning. Hope you had a good weekend. I hope you did as well. Yeah, no, I had a good weekend. I watched Dune in theaters and then learned right afterwards that it was available to stream for free on HBO Max. So it was worth seeing in theaters, though. It was a good movie. Have any of you guys seen Dune? I'm curious. I liked it. One of my friends was a big fan of the books, so that's why I went to see it. It was actually my first trip back to a theater since the pandemic really started. My first time back in a movie theater. It was interesting. Good getting back, though. Let's see. So, I will be right back, guys. 1 second. Be right back. Okay, there we go. I just had to turn the fan on. It's starting to get a little hot in here. So I've noticed, actually, that we've got 67 viewers and 28 likes. Let's see if we can't bump that up. Maybe we could even get another 12 likes, bump it up to 40. We almost have 70 viewers, so we'll see what we can do. It looks like Lucid is actually moving down a little bit, right? Starting to see a little bit of resistance at $40. So someone's trying to keep it down below that. I think that shorts know. If we take a look at the short data on Lucid, we can see that shorts are probably getting worried. It's not like it's extremely heavily shorted or anything, but shorts are probably very worried that it has been rising quite a bit. And UFOs Are Real says, I saw Dune, but I never read the book or saw the original. The movie didn't make any sense to me. Yeah, I didn't read the books, and I didn't watch the original. The movie made some sense, a little bit. I could see that, it would have helped a lot. It was almost like a Game of Thrones situation. It would have helped a lot to have read the books. There was definitely some stuff that I wasn't getting, like who all those people were. But for the most part, it was an interesting story. And Don says Dune is all about that spice. Yes, it certainly is. It certainly is. So yeah, the shorts, there are still quite a few, right? 43 or 47.3 million short shares are on Lucid. So obviously, shorts don't want this thing pumping up more. They were probably caught with their pants down when it broke $28 resistance. A lot of shorts were probably expecting it to bounce back down to 22, in this range that it had been trading in for a while. I'll pull up Lucid on this chart, actually. This chart really isn't that good on the right because my face does block it a lot of the time. But if you look back over the past year, a lot of shorts were probably expecting for Lucid to bounce back down to 22 and are now very upset that it's trading for, well, it looks like above $40 or very close to it, right? We're around $39.99. So very close to above 40. So Dapper Romeo, remark holding to the moon today. Well, let's take a look. Well, we were looking at Mark earlier. So market's currently below $2, which we don't like. Ideally, it looks like the opening bell is about to happen in 7 seconds. Ideally, we would be getting above 2. That would be nice to see, but we are starting to fade a little bit, so that's unfortunate. Good morning, Rob. My country actually at night, so could you analyze Tesla stock? Okay, well, we'll look at Tesla. Yeah, okay, this is good actually. Up big in after hours. Just opened at 11:44 and already seeing some green on the day for Tesla. That's really good stuff. We'll zoom in on Lucid too. It looks like Lucid is having Tesla and Lucid now seem to be having very similar reactions to the open, both of them tanking a little bit. DWAC, not doing too much, hasn't moved that much. PROG is dipping a little bit. We're seeing some red. Seeing some red on these, but DWAC is holding. Oh, now we're swapping. Now Tesla's the only green one. Dune equals predictive programming. Yeah, it could be that. It could be a lot of predictive programming. I assume that's an AI reference, Kitchener Leslie. I'm not sure. There wasn't too much AI in Dune. There was a surprisingly small amount, I thought. But I hadn't read the book, so I didn't know what to expect. But we've got 33 likes. Let's see if we can't bump that up to 40. We're only 7 likes away. We're getting very close to 40. All right, so PROG is tanking. Hopefully going to be bouncing off of the $350 support level. DWAC skyrocketing. That's good to see right there. We got so high we were off the charts for a second. Up above 67 again. Hopefully making our way towards $70 with DWAC. That would be very nice. Let's take a look at the options just real quick and see if there were any more options that came in since we last checked. So it looks like we've gotten the addition of some new strike prices. But for the most part, we're still just looking at relatively low amounts of options. Obviously, there's a lot of implied volatility with this. We're up above 68 on DWAC. That's good to see. The other stocks are all red, right? They're all moving down. DWAC, on the other hand, is not. But I'm curious if it was halted. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. We're still moving on DWAC and still moving up. It looks like there's a decent amount of buying pressure. A lot of people looking probably, over the weekend looking to get in on this. We'll see. Obviously, it could turn around at any second. We're still very early in the trading day. It looks like we are having a bit of a retracement right here. We're moving back down. Lucid is getting crushed, right? We're down below 39. We were touching 40 right at open. Now we're down below 39. That's not good on Lucid. PROG getting very close to 350. We already moved below it temporarily and got bounced back above. We'll see if we can hold that. Hopefully we're not going to move too far below 350. We have done it in the past, but it's not the best to see us dipping below, even if it is just for a couple of minutes or hours. Ideally, we don't move below 350 at all with PROG, but we'll see what we can do on that. Tesla is moving down, but still up on the day. So Tesla and Lucid still green on the day, despite a couple of early red bars. Let's see what we've got. So, Kitchener Leslie, no, they tell you what they plan to do to you. Predictive programming. Oh, interesting. Interesting, yeah. And Ambition 2020 says, hopefully I can do all my trades on Lucid today, praying for roller coaster bars. Yeah, it looks like we're having a bit of a roller coaster right now. Pretty volatile on Lucid, right? We opened around 40. Now we're down below 39. Just a couple of minutes in, so we're going to see what happens with it. But it is looking to be fairly volatile on Lucid. Same for Tesla. It looks like they're following a somewhat similar pattern. Tesla had a bit of a better open, but since then, both of them have just been moving down. So we'll see. PROG is also getting stopped out at 50, hopefully. Hopefully it doesn't move below. We're very close to it. I don't like seeing this pressure on 350, right? The past couple of bars have been touching it. We just touched it again last bar. DWAC, we saw some green initially. We're seeing some green again. Hopefully we're going to make new highs of day right here. We're going to see the way people will laugh when you warn them. Yeah. And Zach Taylor says, I have all my settings in TOS set to real time, yet somehow I'm like 30 seconds behind your stream. Any ideas? That's strange because my stream should actually be coming through a little bit later than what I'm even seeing right here. So in the top left, it should say if your data is real time. You can see it right there. It might say there's a little bit of a delay if the internet's not working well, but it should tell you right here in the top left. It says real-time data for me. So I'm not sure because my stream is I'm looking at it right now and it's even a little bit delayed compared to what I'm seeing on the chart. So that is interesting because streams just the internet isn't quite good enough to put them out in exactly real time. It's a couple seconds behind, but that is strange, Zach. That is strange. Does it say real time in the top left? Because that's my only guess. I mean, does it say the actual the date and time right here? It's 9:35:04 for me. Okay, it looks like we might be getting some support on PROG. Hopefully moving up. And we've got 70 viewers, 35 likes, so only half the people have liked the video. If we could bump that up just a little bit more, if we could get potentially 40 likes, that would be nice. If we could get 40, we only need 5 more likes. If we could bump it up just a touch, just get half the people who have not yet liked the video to click that like button, that would be much appreciated. It would help to get some more people in the stream, get some more of these comments rolling in. Yes, and no delay in settings, says Zach. Huh. it might just be the internet. It really might be just the internet. We pay a lot for internet here because I'm uploading a lot of videos every day. Watching the markets, it's important, and doing these streams, it's important for that. So we pay about $80 a month for internet. So maybe a little bit overpriced, honestly. I think we might be getting ripped off, but it works. It works. So it might be the internet, but shouldn't be too massive of a deal, right? Hopefully not. Hopefully it's not that big of a delay. Just about 30 seconds, you said. So unless you're really actively trading, scalping, it shouldn't be too bad. Hopefully not. And I think that even my data is slightly delayed. I think that there are some platforms, not Thinkorswim, that are a little bit quicker, but they tend to have more ugly UIs, and I mostly use Thinkorswim for charting. I do take some trades on it. In fact, let's see. So on DWAC, we're only down $74 or $67 since close yesterday. Now we're at a $0 profit and loss on the day, up 6.5K all time on that. Hopefully we're going to be getting back up above 70. Hopefully we can start moving upwards. It's looking like we are experiencing some bullish activity, though. Just in early morning trading, we have been moving up. That's really good to see, because most of the time with DWAC, what we've seen in the past, at least, if you look over the past 10 days, is typically we would see a little bit of a morning sell-off for the first 10 minutes or so. We would see a little morning sell-off as soon as the market opened. You can see this was an exception to the rule, and it was actually on a bullish day, as was this slightly, right? It wasn't that bullish, but we ended up selling off. So typically DWAC sees a little bit of bearish activity right around open. Looks like that's not going to be the case. Hopefully not, right? We are starting to move down a little bit. Maybe we'll be able to get up after we bounce off of 67. So Dark Passenger. So yeah, it's weird. No delay in setting Cypher 1 gig up and down. Yeah, I think I do as well. That's strange. That is strange. So Dark Passenger says FB on fire. Yeah, let's take a look at that. Have you guys heard about Facebook changing their name and ticker symbol to they're changing to Meta. Their company name is going to change to Meta because of the metaverse, and their ticker symbol is going to be MVRS, I believe it is. Yeah, so that's taking effect sometime in December, I believe. I believe that's when that change is going to take place. Very interesting stuff. I do hold some Facebook stock, so I'm excited to hear it. And I think the reason they're doing it is because they're more interested in, the metaverse, if you guys know what that is, but basically the virtual world. They have a bunch of virtual reality technology. I actually own some of their one of their headsets, the Oculus Quest 2. I ended up buying because it was relatively cheap, and it works pretty well. So I think that is definitely an area that they could do very well in. I think that it's still not as well known about as it could be, right? The technology is actually at the place where it's relatively affordable. It was like $300 for a VR headset, and you don't have to buy anything else to use it, right? It comes with the controllers. There are no cameras that need to go around. Very convenient. $300, that's cheaper than most people's computers, and you can do a decent amount of stuff. So PROG is actually doing really well on this bar, bouncing up massively off of 350. We're up above $3.60 now, up to $3.66. That's great to see. Facebook is moving up. We'll bring back DWAC because I know we're a little bit more interested in that. Tesla and Lucid have both been tanking the EVs. However, they're still up on the day, which is important to note. They're still up on the day. Right now, the only stock that isn't up on the day is DWAC, and it's only down 0.62%. So very close. Very close to all of these stocks being green. Kitchener Leslie, Meta means death in Hebrew, really? That is interesting. That's unfortunate for Facebook then. That might not be the best name choice. But PROG is doing incredibly well, up to 371, just shooting up. Hopefully getting to $4 today. Hopefully we can get back above 4 and get some of those call options in the money. If we look at the PROG call options, I'm sure it's updated since yesterday. Yeah, 29,000 $4 call options. We're getting close to 30K $4 call options, so very cool. A lot more people are piling into these as we expected. We still have some time. We've got about 2 weeks, a little bit more than 2 weeks for more people to buy into those call options. And it looks like DWAC is getting close to its open price, right? We did shoot up in the initial couple of minutes. We're getting very close to the open on DWAC. Dark Passenger says, should I sell my stock in MA? I bought it for $345. Now it's in 340s. Let's take a look at MA. We'll replace Tesla with it. MasterCard. See, I do like these companies, right? These credit card companies. But I believe Visa Visa, I might like a little bit more. I think that they're doing a little bit more with crypto than MasterCard is. I might be mistaken on that. But they can see, you can see they tend to follow very similar patterns. It looks like they just had their earnings and moved down on that. So that's unfortunate. But we are, over the past couple of days, doing pretty good, right? We're actually up on MA today, right? We're up 1%. So, I mean, it's up to you. It depends on your risk tolerance, right? If this is a long-term buy, then it wouldn't necessarily make sense to sell if you're just down a little bit. But if you were just trading it, then you got to make that decision. But I tend to be pretty bullish on these credit card companies. They tend to do pretty well over the long term, so I see no reason to sell them. Right? I tend to hold these for a while. I am holding some of these. I believe it's Visa that I'm holding though, not MasterCard. Maybe it's MasterCard as well, but I think Visa for sure. So yeah, I'm not too worried about these credit card companies. It seems like they always make money quarter after quarter. I'm not too worried about them moving down over the long term. Little AR, Glocklies, check IronNet. I will look at that. IRNT. Okay, so up 2.9%, back getting very close to 13. Seeing a bit of volatility in the early morning. So yeah, I think if we can get back above 13, that would be nice. Obviously, when this Microsoft news came out, when the partnership was announced, spiked up pretty high, right? Up to $17 before getting shot down. It's nice to see that we have actually established some support at $12. And it would be good to see us climbing again, getting back up above these psychological resistance levels, 13, 14, 15. Maybe we can do something with that, right? If we look at IronNet on Ortex, let's see what the short interest is at. Maybe some shorts have covered. Looks like shorts have not covered, that's for sure. Short interest change up 15% today. Shorts are back to their old ways, still shorting IronNet stock. You can see this yellow line right here, the short interest as a percentage of the free float, back up on its way up. It lags behind a day or so. So currently we're at 31% short interest as a percentage of the free float, getting very close to these all-time highs, right? The high that we have here is 33.98%, so very close to all-time high short interests as a percentage of the free float. Very high utilization rate, 90%, and 11.79 million shares are currently short on IronNet stock. So it is looking like it might have a little bit of a rebound. Shorts are starting to run out of ammo for it, and we can actually pull up the Google Trends data and see what we've got going on with IronNet. IRNT right here. We'll see if people are gaining more interest in it. So let's see. Over the past 7 days, it looks like interest has died down a bit, right? Over the weekend, you're obviously going to see virtually no interest for any stock, right? Because the markets are closed. So that's what this big gap is right here. But we are opening relatively low search volume-wise, on Google at least, for IronNet stock. So we'll have to see what happens with it. But not too many people are searching for it. Not bad, though, right? It is good to see that we're up 4% on the day, getting very close to 13. That's where we might see some resistance. You can see that we saw some resistance in the pre-market. So hopefully we can get above 13 today and hold that level. Now, DWAC, it looks like we're gaining some support around 66.25, close to where we opened. Hopefully that will hold itself, right? Hopefully we don't start trending down on DWAC. We're already down about 2% on the day. It would be nice to see us actually start moving up and for this to just be a little blip in the chart on our way up towards 70. That would be nice. Resistance on Lucid 39 right now. Yikes. Yeah. Yep. Lucid, and if we take a look at Tesla too, we have been seeing some resistance, but it looks like Tesla's actually bouncing back in a slightly better way than Lucid, though Lucid is up more on the day, right? Lucid, much lower market cap. It's going to be a little bit easier to move that one, but both of them were tanking very early on and have, over the past couple of minutes, seen a little bit of green, but not quite enough to boost them up to the highs of day, just enough to slow the fall. We'll see what happens. Lucid's experiencing a fairly red bar right now, but we're going to see. Lucid and Tesla seem to be trading somewhat similarly, though, right? These EV stocks. Resistance on Lucid. SoFi Technologies Inc. making big moves today, says Dapper Romeo. Yeah, let's take a look at SoFi. Hold some SoFi. I like SoFi stock. Yeah, up 5%. That's really good. We called SoFi. We were talking about SoFi back when it was at 17. It was likely going to be breaking this $18 resistance level we were talking about was the last big pump up. I think maybe we were actually talking about it around here, and then it dipped a little bit before moving up. I actually think that was the case, right? We were talking about it right when it was around 17. So not quite right before it started spiking, but not too long before. And it did not move down that much, right? Down, the lowest it got was 15 something. So that was a good buy. I'm glad I bought into SoFi around then. Right. And we've got 47 likes on the stream, 81 viewers. Maybe we could bump that up a little bit. We could bump it up maybe to 50 or 55. We'll see if we can either get 3 or 8 more likes on the stream. It would be much appreciated if we could do that. Hopefully we can and get some more comments rolling in here because the more likes we have, the more people end up clicking on the thing. And, then the more comments we get, the more call-outs on these stocks. I'm glad that Dapper Romeo has been doing a good job keeping us updated with SoFi. And I believe Facebook was another interesting watch. Thank you, Dark Passenger, for that. Okay, DWAC finally starting to see some bullish momentum, right? We finally got a little bit of a green bar right after a big red one, unfortunately, but this is taking us back up above the open of the day. So back up, we're getting a lot of bullish pressure, even though it's not that big volume-wise, but we're maybe going to be getting bounced off of 67. We're going to have to see if that acts as resistance. Nope, we're getting shot right through 67. Hopefully we can maintain that. We're moving back below, it looks like, maybe. If we hold, that's really good for DWAC. That could be very good. This could be the bottom of a little V right here. That would be really awesome to see. And PROG stock has slowed down a little bit, right? We bounced off of 350 to the upside and then got stopped out around 375. We've just been trending down. That's not the worst thing to see. DWAC, it looks like we're very close to making highs of day. If we can break 68.50, then we'll be making highs of day. 68.64 actually is where we need to go. So DDWE says, got you. I appreciate that. Thank you. We did get up to 50. Nice. Nice. Very close to 55. Only 2 more, though, if people want to like it. Only need 2 more likes to get up there. So 68 now is acting as a little resistance for us. I like that we are just blasting through. Highs of day we just reached up above 68, 68.72 on DWAC. That's good news. PROG is taking a little bit of a breather, though. We're moving back down. Maybe we'll find some resistance, or rather support, at $3.60. That's the hope. I wouldn't like to see us moving back down to 350. That would actually be very bearish if we were able to start hitting this resistance after seeing a big bounce off of it. I wouldn't like to see us moving back down and hitting 350 again, because then we used up a lot of the energy in the bulls. When you bounce the stock up like this, when you move it up so much, obviously that's going to take a lot of buying power. And you can see there was fairly large volume. You can see increasing volume down here when we did bounce up. It was a couple 100,000, 300,000, 350, and 400,000 shares traded each of those minutes on PROG stock. So if we did get back down to 350, that would show that bears are starting to take control again, which I do not like. I do not like that. Ambition 2020 says, I need 40 on Lucid. Might have to hold over until tomorrow. Yeah, Lucid is one that I don't worry about holding over the long term. But for short-term trades, you never know what's going to happen. We looked at Lucid on Ortex. I'll pull it up again. The short interest is not very high on Lucid, right? Not many people are shorting it. But it is such a low market cap, or such a high market cap, that there are still quite a few shares being short, right? 47.2 million shorted shares on Lucid. So obviously shorts do have some kind of interest in keeping this thing down, at least temporarily. They don't want to see Lucid continue skyrocketing and messing up their short positions, because 8.69% of Lucid is short. So obviously some institutions and big players have a vested interest in keeping this thing down. And it was a massive move to the upside that we just saw. And 40 may end up acting as a short-term resistance. Maybe we get bounced down to 35, maybe 30. We'll have to see. Hopefully not that low. Hopefully 35 is as low as we go off of a bounce off 40. But we could continue moving above it, right? This is a very short time frame to be looking at. Just because we didn't move above it instantly doesn't mean that we're not going to have a bit of a rebound today, right? That's still not out of the question. We could still be doing good on Lucid even today. So, Steve Humes, your thought on Mark this week? Yeah, we'll take a look at Mark. We looked at it in the pre-market, and right now it looks like we're struggling with $2. So let's see. Let's zoom into it a little bit. Yeah, it looks like we got pushed below 2, saw a little bit of resistance around market open. We started trending up, got bounced off of 2. That's really not good. Ideally, we would be using it as support as we were in after hours and the pre-market. It's not necessarily too late for us to start doing that. We haven't been trading for that long. It's only been about 20 minutes of the trading day that have gone by. And Saucy Fredo says PHUN is doing really bad. We'll take a look at that next. But But yeah, ideally with Mark, we wouldn't be below $2. And we can take a look. Maybe the options are going to be showing us something. But yeah, you can see that for the November 19th strike date, there are almost 12,000, about 11,000 open interest call options. And institutions are going to want to keep this thing below that, right? They don't want those expiring in the money. It could be very bad for them. They could actually have to end up buying a bunch of Mark shares if it gets close to that expiration date. They may have to end up buying a bunch of shares of Mark to cover those call options that they've sold. So they're going to do their best to keep it down. We can take a look at Mark real quick on Ortex and see what we've got with that. But we will look at PHUN next. So it looks like shorts are coming in a little bit today, right? Up 2.61% short interest-wise, bringing us up to almost 20% short interest as a percentage of the free float. So not the best with Mark, right? But not the worst either. It's not like shorts are killing us. Obviously, we're down 7.5%, but I think shorts are really just trying to hold us below 2. I'm not sure if they have too much ammo to use. And now we'll look at PHUN, because that is an interesting one. Yeah, so it looks like 4 might be acting as a support for us. Hopefully, we'll start moving back up above it. We already see a little bit of volatility building around it. This could be a pattern that plays out for a little bit. We could just be bouncing around 4, hopefully. Hopefully, we won't move down straight through it. But yeah, out of the three pump stocks, out of the 3 Trump pump stocks, PHUN is down about 7%. Mark was down about 7.5%. And DWAC is stagnant, right at 0.00% change. It's exactly where it closed. Now we're down 0.2% on DWAC, but of the 3, DWAC looks the most bullish. We're now actually up 0.15% on DWAC, hopefully going to continue that move up to 70 with it. So Steve Humes, Rob, great job day in and day out. By far the best straightforward commentary on YouTube. I appreciate that. I do my best. I try to make this relatively understandable and straightforward, so that's appreciated. I appreciate that. Yeah, some of the other YouTubers out there, like Meet Kevin, they do really good stuff, but I think that they've been doing it so long that their audience at this point knows kind of how they speak, and it ends up being a little bit complex almost for people who don't watch their live streams and whatnot on a regular basis. You know, when I tune in, I get what they're saying, but I have been watching them for a while. So let's take a look at Lucid, says Rodolfo Gonzalez. We'll take a look at Lucid. We have Lucid right here. So yeah, we were just talking about Lucid. It's in the bottom right of the screen. And basically, we got bounced off of 40 early morning, right? You saw in the pre-market, we moved up to $40 and then instantly saw some red bars as soon as the actual trading day began. We saw a big volume, 2.5 million shares trading the first minute. And the third minute, over 2 million shares again trading, moving us down, keeping us down around $38, which we're using as a little bit of a support right now. Hopefully that's going to hold. But like I said with Lucid earlier, we have moved up in such a big way over the past couple of days that shorts are probably getting a little bit antsy. They're down fairly big on their positions. If we look at Lucid on Ortex, you can see that the short interest isn't the largest, but it is still a significant number of shares and a significant amount of money just because Lucid is such a large market cap. About 47 million shares are short on Lucid. So that adds up to quite a bit if you multiply 47 million by $38. So there is still a pretty large short interest on Lucid. And shorts obviously are going to want for there to be a little bit of a dip, at least so that they can escape with minimized losses. So we're going to have to see if that can be the case, right? Maybe we could move up above 40, but it's going to be tough on Lucid. We saw a bounce off of it in the pre-market and then at market open. So we're going to be keeping our eye on it, but it is looking like we have at least found some support at 38, so that is good. Okay, now the rest of the comments. ABVC holding. This is fun stock. Let's take a look at ABVC. Yeah, wow, this one pumped up pretty big just today over the weekend. ABVC Biopharma up 268% on the day. Massive volume coming in. They were at highs of $26 in the pre-market at the height of the hype. But since now they're trading at $9.50. We have just been slowly trending up throughout the day, right? We opened at $8.25. Now we're at $9.50, $9.43. And the highs of this trading day are $11.65. So that is looking promising. That is an interesting one. So what happened? They were halted on a circuit breaker at 9:32. And then what was the news that bumped them up? Interest by traders on social media. Also, the company filed a mixed shelf offering on Friday after the close. So it looks like this might just be a social media hype meme stock almost play. Let's take a look at StockTwits and see what the top ones are, and if ABVC is up there. Let's see, it is up massively on the day. Yeah, so looking at the most active, it's not on the most active, but if you look at the top trending, and there's a difference between most active and top trending. I believe top trending is stocks that have started to see a massive increase in volume but haven't necessarily gotten most mentions. But ABVC is number 2, right below Fisker. Right below Fisker. I wonder why Fisker is as trending. I am a holder of Fisker as well. So let's see. BKKT is wild today, says UFOs are real. Yeah, we'll take a look at BKKT. Yeah, a lot of volatility on this one as well. A lot of volatility there. And Clove, says Nadir Mohammed. We will look at Clove. We haven't looked at Clove in a bit. But looks like we're up a little bit on the day. Is there any news that came out recently? Looks like all that's happened as of late is they've had some options, and they're going to be doing their earnings call on November 8th. So if you look at the past year, we have just been stagnating in this range again, right, from around $7. Every now and then we'll get up to 10, but for the most part, over the past while, it's been in between 7 and 8. So yeah, with Clove, we're really watching out for this earnings call, right? Over the next 7 days, we're going to see if we can't get some positive momentum on it. Maybe some good news will come out come earnings. Let's hope. Let's hope for that. It looks like our last earnings call, we were losing money. I don't expect that we'll actually turn a profit this time. They're still relatively early in the company's life, so we're going to have to see what happens with it. But hopefully they'll announce some good news at the very least. Okay, so I'll take my loss on PHUN to PROG, have a couple hundred shares, I'll just keep adding. Nice, nice. And AMC is green and the hood is red. Happy, happy, joy, joy, says Don. So let's take a look at AMC. If it's green, yeah, 2.18%, up 2% on the day. Looks like we might be finding some support around 35, and could be moving up in anticipation, actually, of AMC's earnings call. Who knows what they're going to announce, but hopefully good news. And let's take a look at hood. Robinhood stock, if anyone's interested in that. We used to look at Hood quite a bit on the channel. Back when they had that initial spike up in price. It looks like their earnings destroyed them, though. Bad earnings. I heard that they had bad revenue, bad user growth. So, that's to be expected, right? They probably pumped themselves up quite a bit around their initial release, right, when they IPO'd. But they've since been tanking a little bit, right? We're down very close to all-time lows for the stock. So, a lot of people did end up buying in the 70s, 60s, even some at 85. But a lot of people were in above 40. Pretty much everyone was in above 40, and this earnings call just destroyed Robinhood stock. So that's not good for them. But, over the long term, I'm not too worried about Robinhood. I think they'll be doing decently over the long run. We've got 62 likes and 77 viewers. Let's see if we can't bump that up. Maybe we could get 70 likes on this thing. If everybody liked the video a little bit, we could potentially get 70 likes. So Dark Passenger says, finally, Twitter is bouncing. Let's look at Twitter real quick. There we go. TWTR. Yeah, nice. We are seeing a little bit of a bounce. It looks like the earnings killed Twitter. And, earnings have been brutal for Twitter many times. Sometimes they've been good, but we've seen a couple of bad earnings calls on Twitter. It looks like we did get moved down fairly significantly on the earnings. Saw a big red day right after they were released. And now it looks like, yeah, we're in for a little bit of a bounce. Some traders might realize, hey, Twitter got cheap, and might be looking to get in on it. We're going to have to see. It's up about 2% on the day, so that's looking good. And PHUN broke $4 support, says Saucy Fredo. So let's take a look at that. Let's look at PHUN. So it looks like we're sitting at $4 right now. So yeah, temporarily, depending on what platform you're looking at, you're going to see PHUN bouncing around. It might look like it's a little bit lower at $3.99. But if you have a chart like this, you can see that we haven't broken through in a big way, right? In a big way would be probably getting below like $3.80 if we really got down that low, right? Like even this, though it is technically breaking, right? When we were down at $3.92. I don't even count that as really breaking support because we did bounce up very quickly afterwards and did end up holding at $4 after that. So, just because you bounce around a level doesn't mean we've necessarily broken the support. If you move down significantly past it. That's what I would count as breaking, though. Some do say, hey, if you move a cent below, then you've broken it. But I tend to look more at the mid to long term, right? Just a couple more bars than the minutes, right? The minute bars are sometimes misleading. If you look at the 30-minute bar, though, it looks like we just have a little bit of a wick below 40. So we'll have to see. It looks like we closed exactly at $4 actually on PHUN. So now we're seeing a little bit of a green bar on the 30-minute. That is so. Not the worst to see. The fact that we are holding it is good. However, the fact that we are at $4 instead of trending up, not ideal, right? We would like to be trending up. We are down 6.7% on the day. So it has been waning over the past while. If you look, looks like we stagnated a little bit and have been trending down ever so slightly over the past couple of days, from 5 to 4. Hopefully, we don't move too much lower on it, but unless we get some really good news coming from Trump's end, I don't know if these Trump pump stocks are going to be pumping until then. Hopefully, they will. DWAC is just stagnant on the day, right? It looks like we've got holders of the stock, but we're still looking to get to a situation where we have net buyers. We're looking to get more people buying the stock, and that's going to take some additional hype and media attention. So we're going to see. Maybe we can do it. Hopefully we can. And PROG, it looks like, keeps hitting up this $3.60 level, using it as support. That's good to see, actually. The fact that we aren't moving straight down to 350 is really nice. Lucid is moving down. Still up on the day, though, but not to be unexpected, right? When you see a big bounce off of 40 like that, especially when you see two bounces off of it. You saw one in the pre-market as well. It's not to be unexpected that we'll move down somewhat significantly. 40 is a very strong psychological level. Those multiples of 10 tend to act pretty strongly for stocks like this. And Zach Taylor says, TD Support said they also saw the delay and advised to make sure you restart Thinkorswim every morning. All good now. Nice. Yeah, no, I do close out Thinkorswim every day when I stop trading and watching the charts. I tend to, shut down everything on my computer every night. So any thoughts on NOK? Could you see it at $7 by 2022? Let's take a look, Dark Donald. Let's take a look at NOK. Nokia. Yeah, so has been moving up lately. Let's take a look at Yahoo Finance and see what they've got on it. Maybe $7 isn't that far off, but it is 2022 isn't that far off either. So I could see it. I could definitely see it. The last time we had an earnings call, we did spike up pretty big. This earnings call, it looked like, was actually fairly negative for us. We opened pretty high on it, but then ended up closing. And the following days, we continued to move down. So this earnings call wasn't great for Nokia. And it is a $31 billion market cap company. If you look right here, $31 billion on Nokia. So fairly large market cap. Hopefully, some buying pressure will come in for it, but we did get stopped out around $6. That acted as a resistance for us for the past couple of months. We were playing around $6, trying to get above, and we ended up getting bounced below. More recently, we've moved up, and this earnings call in combination with $6 looks like we got bounced down again. So by December, by the end of December, I'm not sure if it could be 7. I mean, it's possible, right? It's obviously possible. I could see it there, no doubt, right? Stocks can do crazy stuff over short periods of time. But I think we would need some kind of catalyst to get that happening. I don't think just the natural movement of it is going to get us to $7 by December or by the end of December by 2022. I don't think just the natural movements would, because that is still fairly high. But if we did get some kind of catalyst and an abnormal movement, right? If we're just following this pattern on the chart, we can do it right here. Maybe it would actually. But if you look from the beginning of the year to where we are now, then it looks like we would be around $6, and that's obviously just that's a guesstimate, right? Hopefully we would keep moving up. We could start trending down. It's not guaranteed, but if you just kind of look at where we started the year at and then where we are currently, it's not the most accurate representation of what might happen. I mean, potentially that might be a little bit better, just kind of averaging the prices, and in that case, still not quite at 7. So even in a decently bullish situation, I don't know if we get to 7, but maybe we do. Can you check RFL? It's definitely possible with NOK, though. It's possible, but we would need some kind of catalyst, I think, to get us moving. Wow, we moved down big on RFL. Raphael Holdings. Okay, so what happened with this one? Let's see. So this was the 28th. Let's see what happened. A lot of news on the 28th. Okay, so they plummeted after cancer treatment trial missed their primary endpoint. So, all right, so they failed one of their studies, it looks like. All right, and it looks like a bunch of people were invested in this for the cancer treatment potential. So let's look at RFL market cap. I wonder if people are getting in on this now or if they were already in it. So 733 has a $150 million market cap. Obviously, we just lost a ton of value on it. It moved down from $30 to around $7. So it used to be around $600 million market cap. Now it's $150 million. These kinds of stocks, this could come back over, a couple of years. We are at all-time lows over the past 2 years for the stock, so it could come back. And the fact that they missed their endpoint for the cancer treatment did not meet its primary endpoint. Now, I'm unsure if that means they just failed to finish the study in time. So, Regeneron Pharmaceuticals says pancreatic cancer drug candidate fails to meet phase 3 trial survival endpoint. Okay, so their drug just didn't work, it sounds. And in a separate phase 3 study, the independent data monitoring committee has recommended stopping that trial due to a lack of efficacy, the company said. So it looks like their stuff just doesn't work. So not the best, but the fact that they are very cheap, I mean, maybe they're going to start doing some research and development in other areas, and that could be good. But as of right now, it's looking pretty bad news-wise for them, right? The fact that their drugs just didn't do anything isn't great. So Independence Hall says DWAC W to $40, back to 40 or 20. So we'll look at that in a second. But Dark Passenger says, what happened to PayPal? PYPL. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at PayPal. So we are moving down in just ahead of earnings. So we're gonna have to see what happens with it. But this isn't by any means too unusual. But we can look at 1020. It looks like this downtrend began. So let's see what happened on 1020. A lot of news for PayPal. Okay. Jim Cramer tweets, could be a great buying opportunity to buy PayPal, which we own for the charitable trust. So it looks like there was a rumor. All right. PayPal looks to buy. Oh, okay, yeah. So I remember this. It looks like they started falling when they announced that they would be buying Pinterest. And yeah, PayPal shares ended up dropping down. So I actually remember this. When PayPal announced that they'd be buying Pinterest, and I think it's PINS. PINS is PNTRS? Pinterest. I'll just look up Pinterest. No. Let me find Pinterest's ticker symbol, but they were moving up pretty big. But basically, when PayPal and Pinterest, it is PINS. Sounds like I'm saying something else, but so yeah, it looks like Pinterest initially spiked on the deal, on the news that this deal was going to happen. They moved up pretty big, but then they also sold off. So I haven't been keeping up with this story, but that's what's been going on with PayPal. They announced that they were buying Pinterest, and maybe the deal fell through. I'm not sure. It looks like they have just been getting beaten down and down. But we'll take a look at Pinterest. I mean, I'm going to try and figure out what happened to it. Shares are trading lower following a Wednesday report suggesting the company is exploring the purchase of Pinterest. Yep. Skeptical. So Truist analyst is skeptical of the PayPal-Pinterest merger. And just for those of you who don't know, Truist is a merger. It's a new bank that just formed between SunTrust and BB&T Bank. And I know because I had an account at SunTrust, and now it's Truist, and their app is not nearly as good as the SunTrust app was, but that's understandable. They're still working on it. They're still new. It's tough making a new banking app, So PayPal shares are trading higher after the company announced it is not pursuing an acquisition of Pinterest at this time. So that happened on 10/25. So it looks like the news that this deal was going through was hurting the stock so much that on the 25th they decided not to go through with it. But we still, though we closed higher, right? You can see this little spike, right? They announced they weren't doing the deal. It opened way higher and then just continued to sink and sink. So looks like they've just been seeing some negative momentum. It's not like they weren't already downtrending a little bit. Their highs were at 310, and when they announced this deal around 1020, we were already kind of in a downtrend. So now it's just continued. A lot of sellers probably getting worried about their Pinterest holdings. We're getting very close to making lows for the year. If you look down at the past year, we can check that out on Pinterest. So for all of 2021, we're getting very close to the lows. So no wonder that some people are selling ahead of the earnings too. Maybe some people are expecting bad earnings on Pinterest. So we'll see. And Kitchener Leslie, REGN is crushing. Let's take a look at REGN. Regeneron Pharmaceuticals. Yep, we've heard about this, and they have been doing pretty good lately. Their earnings are coming up. So maybe they'll have some kind of announcement. It looks like really great earnings that they've experienced. Yeah, so they're doing good. And let's take a look. Let's take a look at the Yahoo Finance. Yeah, $68 billion market cap. So there we go. There we go. Yep, they're doing pretty good. They're doing pretty good. And Saucy Fredo says, man, I'm so bullish on PROG. Starts to pick up around 11-1. Yeah, let's hope. But it looks like we're doing pretty good right now. We bounced nicely off of 360 or 358, I guess. But now we're getting close to highs of day. Up 3% on the day. That's good news for PROG. And Independence Hall says DWAC making some encouraging moves. Yeah, this is good for DWAC. We like that. So the fact that they haven't just been tanking is very nice. Hopefully, we're going to be gaining some support around here before moving up to $70. That's the hope. We want to move up above 70 today and hold above it. You can see that yesterday, last Friday, we didn't have the best action, right? We just kept getting bounced off of 70 in the early morning. Then we traded below it for a bit before moving up in a very encouraging way. However, we did get shot down on massive volume and then held back at 70 a couple of times. You can see that it acted as resistance for us. So we're really hopeful that we'll get back above 70 today. That's what I hope. So Zach Taylor says, off to work. Have a great day. You too, man. Have a great one. Hope work isn't tough. Dapper Romeo might be a bot, actually. He says, SoFi Technologies making big moves today. Yeah, we've seen that, Dapper Romeo. We've looked at that. PHUN is moving up following DWAC, says Hada. Yeah, it tends to follow DWAC. Let's look at PHUN. Yep, that's good. Only down 3 or getting close down to 4% on the day, but it looks like we are bouncing off of 4, exactly what we wanted to see, gaining some support there. That's very nice. Hopefully that will act as our all-time support. It did when we were experiencing the initial crash off of highs of 24. We bounced all the way down and found support at $4. Now we're bouncing off of it again. That's very nice. Hopefully that's actually going to maintain itself and we're not going to move back towards it. Lucid is just tanking though. Down on the day now. We were up on the day, even though we've been moving down a lot of it. But if you look at this, it doesn't look good. We're down pretty low. It's just been falling and falling. Down below 36, down below $37 actually. So not unexpected, right? A bounce off of 40 is going to be somewhat significant in traders' eyes. That's a strong psychological level, and it tends to be the case. That when you bounce off of something that's a strong psychological level, the algorithms pick up on it and tend to trade it that way as well. So, would you be trading DWAC at mid-70s and buy back in after close? Meaning, would I be looking to sell DWAC in the mid-70s and buy back in after the close in hopes that it had fallen? Or I'm not sure what that question is. Would you be trading DWAC at mid-70s and buy back in after close? If we saw mid-70s, maybe, but I'd probably just be holding my shares. I've been holding them the whole time, right? I bought in at $24 and haven't sold yet. So up 6.5K on that trade. And we'll see. I'm hopeful that over the next couple of weeks, we will see a lot more positive momentum for it. It's good to see that we haven't just been moving down. Typically, with stocks that do die after their initial pump, they do tend to just keep trending down and down and down. So it is very encouraging, in my opinion, to see that we haven't been. We trended down a little bit, and then we trended up, and now we're moving down a touch, but we are actually moving up on the day. So that is good to see. Mohammed Sadiq, hi Rob, nice to see you again. Good to see you as well, Mohammed. Good to see the usuals back in the stream. So yeah, with DWAC though, I probably wouldn't be looking to sell in the mid-70s. I'd just be looking to hold. I feel we've been in this battle of $40.01 for months now. Just my feeling. Let's see. You might be talking about DWACW. No. What's 40.01? You mean Lucid? Or what's $40.01? Don, I'm curious. What are IR thoughts for SKLZ. Let's take a look at SKLZ. So it looks like we're up 8.86%. I'll pull it up at a couple of other places. SKLZ. Finance, skills.com. I have heard of them. I've not invested in them, but I have heard of Skills. So they're $4.91 billion market cap, decent size. They're up on the day. Let's see what they've done over the past year. So they were just trending down. This could be a bottom for them, hopefully. I believe they help people find work, right? Isn't that what they do? They help people find work. So we can look at the short interest. It's probably not that high, though we have covered Skills in the past. It might be somewhat significant. So yeah, it's a decent short interest actually. 22%, 63 million shares. Not much change to the upside, but very high utilization. So this heavily shorted stock, heavily shorted, potentially over shorted, right? It was up at $46 at one point. So hopefully we could start moving up again. We actually saw lows of even the past 2 years. If you look back the past 2 years, we were not as low as we were just a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, this could be a big bounce that we're going to experience. We'll see. That's very good, especially the fact that we are experiencing very high volume today. Let's see if there's any news. Looks like call options. Kathy Wood's ARK Invest post-fund purchased. Looks like they may have purchased Skills. Let's see. Yep, they purchased some Skills, so Kathy Wood's bullish on it. That's always a good sign. She's made some good calls in the past, especially with Tesla. So, yeah, that could be good for Skills. I'm happy about that. Okay, so Ambition 2020 says Lucid. Yeah, Lucid we were just looking at that. It has just been tanking during the day. We're actually down 2% on the day. Like I said, Lucid was above 41 for a hot minute. Yeah. Oh, I see. Yep. So yeah, Lucid above 40.01. Yeah. In the pre-market, and then as we opened the trading day today, we were up above 40. But yeah, like I said, strong psychological level there. Not too surprising that we're finding some significant resistance. The fact that we've bounced off of it a couple of times now. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me the most to see that we are reacting kind of harshly to it. Ideally we would have found some support at 38 and started moving back up towards it, but I'm not sure. Not sure if it's in the cards for us to move above 40 today. The fact that we have seen such a strong push away from it, maybe we can. Anything is possible in the stock market. Every now and then you see these incredible V-shapes, but something would likely need to happen. We need to see a big change if we wanted to move above 40 today. Mohammed Sadiq says it's a gaming play on Skills. Yeah, let's take a look at the Skills news. Let's take a look. Skills, esports. Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm not sure if this is the same site, skills.com, but this is what popped up when I searched Skills Gaming. I'm not sure if that's Skills, SKLZ, the ticker symbol, though. Okay, here we go. Skills.com. Here we go, actually. Here's something. This is it. This is their gaming. So, yeah. So, the platform for competitive mobile games. Yeah, this is interesting. Investors page we got right here. So, our mission at Skills, our mission is to connect the world through competition. We have invested deeply in the technology necessary to provide fair and secure competitive gaming experiences for our users. The trust we foster with our users is the foundation upon which our community is built. So that's good. So yeah, gaming. That's a big industry. Certainly took a bit of an increase during the pandemic, right? People started gaming a whole lot more. That was really good for Skills. So yeah, good for them. They've been doing pretty well, and we've got 100 viewers, 73 likes. Let's see if we can't bump that up, guys. Let's see if we can't bump it up to 80 likes. We wouldn't even need everyone in the stream to like it, but it would be appreciated. If everyone watching right now, hit the like button if you haven't already. That would be very appreciated. We could get this thing up potentially to maybe 80, 85, maybe even 90 if everybody liked it. Who knows? Who knows what we could do? And Finocchio Hobby Outlet, I'm new here. We'll be following a lot more. Awesome, man. Glad to hear it. And we've got a couple other comments I need to read. So glad to hear it. Yeah, we do these live streams every morning, so I enjoy them a ton. Super fun hanging out with you guys. And Paul Blackford says, good morning, Rob. Just joined. Do you see a reversal for PHUN? So many red days in a row. So let's look at that. Let's look at PHUN. And welcome back to the stream, Paul. You have been a regular viewer as well, so it's good to see some regular faces around here. So yeah, looks like we have been bouncing off of 4. It was looking a little bit more bullish a couple of minutes ago, honestly, when we were still making new highs off of this bounce. Now that we've started moving back down towards 4, that's not the best. But if we get some good action in DWAC, then I could see PHUN moving up as well. However, it is worth noting that PHUN tends to be a little bit more bearish when compared to DWAC percentage-wise. If you look, DWAC is down 0.28%, PHUN is down about 5%. That's a common theme when we look. Pinocchio Hobby Outlet, PHUN thinking of getting in now a little late. Well, it's a little bit, a little bit late to be getting in if you were looking at where it was, 30 days ago. However, a lot of people did end up buying at much higher prices. A lot of people bought above 5 or even 6 on these first initial days of the pump. So, buying in at 4, not necessarily the worst buy. However, I really don't like the fact that we are hitting 4 and that it looks like we're moving towards it again. Ideally, we would have seen a decently sized bounce similar to what we saw with PROG, like this morning with PROG. When we were hitting 350, we immediately almost bounced off of it in a fairly significant way, found a new support at 360 or 358, I suppose, that was even higher than that, and are still, continuing to trend up. With PHUN, if we do continue to trend up off of this, then I guess you could say we found a new support at 402, but not really, right? Because it's still very close to 4. So it's tough to say. Not loving the action on it, though. Obviously, any day that it's red, down 5.59% isn't going to be great. Not the most happy about that. But we're going to have to watch it. And I do think it will be important to note that DWAC is going to likely have a big impact on this, right? If we see DWAC start to take a dip, that could actually be what helps break us below 4 on PHUN. It's very possible that could happen. And if DWAC starts to rise, then that could move us above. That could be good. So Mohammed Sadiq says, do you think PROG will squeeze? Well, if you look at PROG, you can see so there are a couple of different things that could go on with PROG, and let's take a look. I'll pull up the Ortex data here as well. But there are a couple of different things that could go on. First off, I'll show you the short data. So currently, the short interest sits around 39.93%, basically 40%. So very high short data on PROG, and shorts have just continuously piled into this thing. Shorts don't want this to go up. They've almost maxed out the utilization, so very high utilization. There's not that much more that they can really short this, legally at least. And there is the potential that if it starts moving up in a big way, that it will squeeze, right? Because shorts were building up their positions for the past while. It wasn't just today that they all started shorting. They've been shorting this thing since it was moving above $1. And, some shorts were getting in at $2, $3. Now we're at 360, hopefully moving to 4. And that alone might not cause a squeeze, but what could is if you look at the options activity, you can see for PROG, let's pull it up, that there are tons of open interest call options, both at the $3.50 strike price and the $4 strike price. The 4 now has almost 30,000 open interest call options. Now, the reason that's important is because a lot of institutions have likely not just been shorting PROG stock, but selling these call options. So the reason that PROG could squeeze, could actually potentially see a short squeeze is because a lot of the institutions may end up getting margin called if it starts moving up in a really significant way due to a gamma squeeze, right? That's what we want to see. I tend to think that oftentimes, just momentum often isn't enough to actually cause a short squeeze, but other types of squeezes like a gamma squeeze can cause a short squeeze. And the gamma squeezes are more reliable because you don't just have to hope that the institutions decide to take their loss and buy the position. Oftentimes, institutions have sold these call options naked, and it's a necessity that if PROG closes above 4 on this strike date, that institutions pay out shares to all the people holding these options contracts. So they would have to be buying up shares. If they had sold these naked, they'd have to be buying up shares of PROG come November 19th, sometime before then, if we're above $4. If it's going to expire in the money, then they'd have to be buying up some shares of PROG, and that, buying shares certainly moves the stock up, so it's possible that we will see a squeeze. Obviously, institutions, as we've seen in the past, are not afraid to manipulate, and institutions do have a very heavy short position on PROG, 25 million shares multiplied by $4, so about $100 million worth of short positions. Institutions aren't going to let that go too easily, and by the time that they're closing it, if this thing has gone up significantly, it could be quite a bit more than 100 million. So institutions certainly don't want this thing to move up, and they're not afraid to manipulate. We're going to have to see what they do about it. They've done a decent job of keeping us below 4 for now. We're going to see what happens over the next couple of days and weeks as we get closer to that November 19th strike date when all of these call options are expiring. So we're going to have to see what happens with that. But institutions might start trying to make a move, might start trying to push us down. It looks like 350 has held us pretty well. It looks like we probably have some big players in this thing who have long positions, since we do tend to see big movements off of 350, every time we hit it, at least for the past while. So that is good. So it's very possible that we will see a short squeeze. It's very possible. So Saucy Sferro says, let's go PROG, starting to trend. Yeah, it's starting to move up. And if we actually, I guess we can look at the rankings on StockTwits. Let's see if PROG is up there. So it's not one of the top. Not one of the top on StockTwits, unfortunately. So, Independence All. DWAC has been moving between 20 and 40 all week. I almost sold today, but it's holding 30 nicely. Debating what to do. Currently holding at 40. Yeah, DWACW, that is. Yep. Yeah, it looks like we're very close to $30. It looks like hopefully we'll be regaining that as a support. But yeah, over the past 30 days, yeah, there's been a lot of volatility on this one. It has been trending down the past couple of days. Hopefully, I think if DWAC starts moving up, then people will start buying up the warrants as well. But basically, if you look over the past 30 days as well, it tends to trade just like DWAC, except a little bit more volatility in it, right? Like it moved up from 20 to 38 when DWAC moved up from 50 to 75. So bigger moves percentage-wise in DWACW. Yeah, so I think that if we did start to see a big move up, and it looks like DWAC might be starting to trend up, whereas DWACW hasn't really continued that pattern, right? This could actually be very good. This could mean that DWACW is trading at an even bigger discount temporarily. Though I'm not trying to encourage anyone, if you want to get out, then that's understandable. So, Daryl Borrego says PHUN. Yeah, we'll look at PHUN. It's been doing okay today, right? We have been holding 4. Hopefully, we'll start to see some upwards pressure. We saw a little bit, right? We tried to break out of this, of the $4 level, right? We tried to stay safely away from it, but have since returned. So now we're getting very close to 4 again. I don't like that. So I don't like that PHUN is returning to the $4 support. That's not looking the most bullish. Like I was saying earlier, though, it's going to be important to watch DWAC and see what happens with it. I think that if it starts moving down in a big way, that could get PHUN down, breaking through its support at 4. But if we start seeing a lot of bullish momentum on DWAC, then potentially that could keep PHUN moving up. We could actually escape from this $4 level, which we don't really like being at, right? This is near the bottom of our range. If you look over the past 10 days, we formed a support level there initially about 5 days ago, and now we're returning to it. Ideally, we won't be returning to it again. Hopefully, we just bounce off of it, but it really depends, I think, on what happens with DWAC. So, let's see. Mohammed Sadiq says, thanks for your DD. Very informative. You're welcome, man. And Dapper Romeo, I'm pretty sure, is a bot. So Don says, Rob, if there are no more real shares to buy, what are we adding to our position? FTDs slash synthetics? Just curious. So with which stock are you talking about? And why wouldn't there be any more real shares to buy on that stock? So tell me which stock you're talking about, because I'm curious, Don. I'm curious. But there are always shares to buy, right? When there aren't shares to buy on a stock, then the price of the stock goes up. That's the point, right? The reason that the stock price moves is because there aren't enough shares being offered. Say, let's take DWAC for an example, and we'll just use very basic, 50-cent increments. Let's say people want to buy DWAC at $67. Some people will be able to, right, if people are willing to sell it there. But eventually, if sellers run out and there are no more shares to buy at 67, then people are still saying, hey, I want shares of DWAC. And the sellers will say, well, we'll sell it to you for $67.50. And then the price will move up to that amount, right? And the same would continue if sellers run out at $67.50, the price would move up to $68. And eventually, if buyers just keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and saying, we want more shares of DWAC, we'll slowly, whittle through the sellers, and the sellers will say, yeah, I'll sell you some at 90, I'll sell you some at 100. But eventually, you start getting some of the initial buyers, right? People who are buying at 70 saying, well, now it's at 140. I've doubled my money. I'll become a seller now, right? And then they trade out their shares. So it's not that you run out of shares on a stock. Typically, you don't run out. That very rarely happens, but with, well, pretty much never, right? It never really happens that you actually legitimately run out of shares on a stock. I mean, because so many people can get in on it, and the price then rises so quickly if people are still willing to buy it, that, someone's willing to sell. Someone's willing to sell their share for $300, right? So that's what tends to happen. I don't think that we've run out of real shares on any of the stocks that we're watching today, right? People are willing, they're trading these around. Not everyone's just holding forever. So Dark Passenger says CHPT. Let's take a look at CHPT. We will see what we've got going on with that. I haven't looked at it before, I don't think. ChargePoint. Okay, no, we have looked at ChargePoint. Yep. I don't recognize all the tickers, but I recognize the names of the companies. So ChargePoint, yeah, we're moving up. That's good. Let's take a look on Yahoo, and we'll see. $8.2 billion market cap. Yeah, so this is EV charging, I believe. So that's good. They've been doing well over the past year, up from $13. Now they're at 25. And they most recently had a dip down to $18, we'll say. Down to 18. So decent. Looks like we are just starting to continue this uptrend, right? Up 3.5% on the day. That's nice to see. And I will point out we have 97 likes and 108 viewers. If we could get 3 more likes, we could get to 100 likes. That would be cool if we could do that this early. I don't think we've ever had 100 likes before 11 before. So, or maybe we have. I don't know. Maybe we have. But it'd be cool to get just a couple more. Now it's just 2 more, 1 more like. We could get up to 100 this early in the day. That would be nice. Our goal is 150 likes today. So we'll see if we can get to 150 likes by the end of the stream. But ChargePoint, let me pull up some more info on it. So, an American electric vehicle infrastructure company based in Campbell, California, ChargePoint operates the largest online network of independently owned EV charging stations operating in 14 countries and makes the technology used in it. So, very cool. Founded in 2007. Great business to be in, right? EV charging, because I definitely think we'll be moving more into the EV direction, right, over the next couple of years. For sure, I think that ChargePoint is going to be doing well. And if you look at the past 2 years, you can see they're doing incredibly well, up from lows of $9.38. So over 2 years, that's not bad for a more than 2.5x. So yeah, ChargePoint's doing good. We're seeing some volatility today, but what stock don't you see volatility in? So let's see. PROG is bullish, long anyways. So Saucy Fredo, yeah, under 4 is undervalued. Yeah, I think that PROG could be doing well, especially if we get above 4. That could really put some pressure on. Dap Romeo, Robin Lazy, what's your thought? What's your take on Mark? We've looked at Mark a couple of times. I really don't like that we're breaking down below 2. I'm not too excited with Mark under 2. That's really not great to see, right? We've lost even 5% of the value today, just about. We opened around 2, not quite, but not great to see that we got bounced off in the early morning. Hopefully we can get back above it, but I'm really not too happy with that. We have dipped below 2 in the past, and we saw some big moves up, and some people ended up taking that as an opportunity when we were up around 250 to get out. So hopefully we can get above 2. So Paula Blackford, could you please check Ortex on PHUN? Any chance for a squeeze there? Let's take a look. And there's always the potential. There's always the potential for a squeeze with anything, but it looks like right now at least, if we take a look at the Ortex on PHUN, shorts are actually increasing their positions at the moment. So up 10% on the day, but the short interest as a percentage of the free float is only 5%. So not the highest, and only 4 million shares being shorted. So if you multiply that by the about $4 stock price, it's only about $16 million short. So it probably wouldn't be the most massive short squeeze. So not looking for a short squeeze on PHUN. It's more of a Trump pump stock, right? That's what we're really looking for with PHUN. Some Trump-related news to come out around it. Hopefully it will continue trading in sympathy with DWAC, and if DWAC moves up on some Trump news, that could be good for PHUN. And Riza Light Shadow says, PHUN is a dead cat. I had to sell on a loss. It's not going back up, guys. It's not looking good for it, right? The fact that we are hitting 4 again is really unfortunate. not the most bullish on it, right? Obviously, I've covered PHUN and DWAC. I always make sure to point out that I am a bit more bullish on DWAC, and we tend to see more bullish activity on it. However, PHUN, I will point out, lower market cap, a lot more volatile, more potential if we were to see a big run-up, but less likely that we will in my opinion, than we will with DWAC. I think DWAC is the big dog on the street regarding these Trump pump stocks. I think that's the one that most people are interested in, the one that might have the most longevity to it. And Saucy Fredo says, I'm more bullish on MARK than PHUN at this point. Yeah. So I'm hoping that PHUN can maintain $4 today, that it doesn't dip below that. We're down about 7% on the day, and we're actually a little bit below 4. We're at 398, but we haven't completely broken the support yet. But if we look at Mark, in the past, you can see it has actually experienced a bit of a bounce on Friday when we didn't see one with PHUN. So, JD. Well, actually, okay, JT. Trump never associated himself to PHUN, so it's more risky. It's actually, he has in the past, right? Not recently with this most recent merger. He hasn't quite announced that, but the reason that PHUN pumped, we have the article right here. Austin-based tech company PHUNware is a former SPAC that has ties with President Trump. USA Today reported that the company worked with Trump and Pence in the re-election campaign, which may have helped to push it up very high in 2019. Now speculators seem to be betting on another partnership, right? So they're expecting that it will be working with Trump. Once again, though, not guaranteed that PHUN is going to be tied with Trump Media Corporation, but yeah, they have worked with him in the past, so it's possible. So let's see. Independent Sol, DWAC is faltering a bit, needs to hold 65. Yeah, I hope. And Mohammed Sadiq, the cost of borrowing BKKT is over 400%. Do you think this could go to $80? We'll look at BKKT. I believe that's what you meant, not BAAKT. So it could go up. It looks like we had a great day, and did move above 31. That's what we were looking for on BKKT, right? The second we moved above 31, we were looking for a continuation, right? Because it had acted. If we look back, we can pull out the 30-minute 1 day, or the 1 day 30-minute, right? So yeah, 31 had acted as a resistance for us, and we were expecting, if we were able to break above 31 in a big way, that we would continue moving up and have the next leg up, which we did. So that's great to see. We didn't watch it come the end of the day. The stream ended before then. But yeah, we definitely started using 31 as a support once we hit it. And after traders saw that, it was sky's the limit. We moved up to 46. Now we're down 4.6% on BKKT. So we're going to see what happens with it. But yeah, it looks like we're struggling with $40 right now. So we have been trading around $40. We are as high as 44 and as low as 35. So a lot of volatility on this one today. A great stock for traders. A lot of volatility. Traders love volatility. So this is a good one. It could be going up maybe to 80, but we've already gotten pretty high. I think the highs that we've ever reached, if you look over the past 10 days, were 60. So it could be going up. But let's take a look at Ortex and see what's going on with BKKT. So it wouldn't surprise me to see some more shorts coming in. But looks like we almost got maxed out on the utilization, right? Almost fully shorted. The short interest has only been able to go up 0.74%, though I'm sure a lot of shorts would like to push this thing down and pile into it. You can see it's just been rising short interest-wise. It wasn't low to begin with, but it's just gotten higher now. It's at 28.25%, 9 million shares. So yeah, we could, if we see another big move up, that really could, if we get back above 60, that could squeeze some shorts for sure. That would not be good for them. They wouldn't like to see us moving back up above 60. That would be really bad for shorts. So, JD, what do you think about buying into Hood right now? Really low. Yeah, Hood has been tanking. Hood, let's take a look. Yeah, saw lows of below 34, and I believe we IPO'd at 32, I think, is when we IPO'd. No, at 38 we IPO'd. So the lowest we've gotten is 33.25, so we're nearing all-time lows for the stock. Yeah, it might. I mean, definitely. If you're looking over the long term, Hood is going to be a decent buy. I think over the long term, this price especially, right? The fact that we've dropped below IPO price. However, it is very possible that we're going to see all-time lows for the stock, right? The lowest we've seen is 33.25. It's very possible that we'll see all-time lows for it. That we could get down to 30. Potentially. Hood needs to go out of business. We'll never forgive them for GME. Too many people hate them. Yeah, they really did not do right by their customers when they stopped buying on those stocks, when they halted GME buying and put in those limits on GameStop and AMC and all that. So that really was not right of them. Yeah, I disagree with them doing that. I don't think it was a good thing for their company. So not happy with it. But let's take a look at DWAC. It looks like we have been moving down. We're touching 65. If Trump mentions his name, it will skyrocket. JT says, I believe, in relation to either PHUN or DWAC. So thanks for all your DD. If you have any top 3 penny stocks, says Hobby Outlet. So yeah, I will show off a penny stock that I am interested in. I like Sundial. We've talked about it a lot on the channel. It's really cheap right now, below 70 cents. And they've got an earnings call coming up, but this is a cannabis company. They've been doing incredibly well over the past year, up from 14 cents. I bought it at 19 cents per share right before the election, right before they started skyrocketing. And have held through all this volatility, right? I've held through when they were almost at $4 per share. I was selling options contracts on them using the shares as collateral, so making money all the way down. But I am bullish on them. I think that once we get legalization, that's when these are really going to pop off. It's up 2% on the day, but big fan of Sundial. I like Sundial a lot. So, any idea when DWAC will turn into TMTG? No, I'm not sure when it's actually going to happen. I think it's yet to be announced. I believe it's yet to be announced. Let's see what we can't cover with DWAC though. So, okay, so 10/29. It looks like Trump was set to appear on Clay and Buck show last Friday. I'm not sure what happened to it. All right, so yeah, not quite sure when they're gonna turn into TMTG. I don't think anyone knows. And Bros says Unite entirely. Yeah, Dutch Bros. I like their coffee. I've been there when I've been to the West Coast, but not that. BROS. There we go. So yeah, Dutch Bros. Interesting company. My mom actually told me about this company that they were public back when they were like 50-something bucks, and I regret not buying some of the stock because I'd be up about 50% now. So really could have bought this at 50, but it just seemed like it had already moved up so much from the IPO. So I do regret not getting in on it. I do think it's possible that they're being overextended. Let me take a look. I mean, they're obviously doing very well for themselves, and coffee's a massive business, but it looks like their earnings aren't quite there. So we're gonna have to see. This earnings call could be very, very crucial for them on 11/10. So November 10th. We're going to have to keep a close eye on Dutch Bros earnings calls. So Dark Passenger says his radio cut off. He didn't do the interview. Okay, yeah. So that's probably why DWAC tanked yesterday, or Friday, I should say. Right down here, probably. But Bros, yeah. Dutch Bros, good coffee, I will say. Very convenient business model, right? I think they just have those little stands. No walk-in. I think it's all drive-through. Really cool stuff. Big on the West Coast. Looking to move to the East Coast, I believe, as well. So yeah, Dutch Bros is looking promising, though it is up pretty big, right? At $3.7 billion market cap. Obviously, I'll show you right here, $3.7 billion market cap. But if you look at Starbucks stock has a $127 billion market cap. So if they were able to take away even 10% of Starbucks's market, right? Then I could see them 4xing. So I think that's why people are excited about Bros. But they have a long way to go. They're obviously nowhere near as well known as Starbucks. And I think with Starbucks, a lot of the consumers of it tend to be females, right? So I think typically women are consuming Starbucks more frequently than men, at least. And Dutch Bros, it might almost alienate women a little bit, right? With the name Dutch Bros seems less likely to be the kind of place that a girl would head to. She'd probably want to get Starbucks. So that's what I tend to think, right? Starbucks obviously has done really well and taken over a large swath of the coffee market. But Dutch Bros will have to see. I mean, obviously there are a lot of people other than girls who drink coffee. But I think that Starbucks has really done cornering that segment of the market. We're going to have to see if Dutch Bros can take away part of it from them, right? Maybe they'll have to do a little bit of rebranding. But they've done very well thus far, right? On the West Coast, they're hugely popular. Bikers like to use them, right? There's a lot more people are a lot more active on the West Coast, it seems. So people just bike right up to the drive-through window and pick something up from Dutch Bros. Done it in the past, and they've got good stuff. So So Independence Hall says, the fact that DWAC is holding despite negative press over the weekend is encouraging. Yeah, I do like that. The fact that they're not down that much, right? Down only about 3% on the day. Though in the pre-market we saw lows of 62.99. So not the best right there. But I am hoping that we can get up above 70 today, though, wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if we didn't. The fact that we're holding is very nice, right? The fact that we bounced off of the 55 and have been moving up since is encouraging. I do like that with DWAC. I'm not super worried about this one. I'm just waiting for a catalyst. I think that once we get that catalyst, we're going to be doing great things with DWAC. Saucy Fredo, would you average down on Mark? I'm holding around 230. Potentially you could, right? You could. However, well, let's take a look at the Mark options for a second and see what we've got going on with Mark options. Okay. So yeah, potentially, Mark is offering a decent opportunity actually to sell some call options. They really are offering fairly high premiums. If you look at the November 19th strike date, the $2 call options are selling between 35 and 40 cents. So you could make some big money selling call options using shares as collateral. Granted, then you'd be agreeing to sell it for $2. So you'd still be in the green, though, if you were holding around 230. If you sold the call options even for 35 cents at $2, you'd be making $2.35. Although that's only a 5-cent gain, but you are protecting yourself a little bit to the downside, right? If it moved down more. So we'll have to see. I mean, it looks like Mark is getting beaten down below $2. Unfortunately, looks like we have been making lows of 190. So maybe 190 will act as a support for us. It's not a guarantee, though. We have been lower. Just on Thursday, we were at 178. And the fact that we're getting beaten down below 2 isn't too encouraging. Right, I don't like that we're getting beaten down below 2. And MKFG is up. Let's take a look at that, Ray White. We'll look at that. Yeah, up 8% on the day. Let's see what news came out. Kathy Wood, okay, it looks like Kathy Wood bought into it, and that helped to boost them up. So, Mark Forged, holding, let's see. Whenever Kathy Wood buys something, that's a good sign. That's a good sign. She tends to do quite a bit of research. So let's see, $1.3 billion market cap on MKFG. And over the past year, let's see what they've done. I'm curious. So they have been tanking over the past year, but Kathy Wood is not shy buying these cheaper stocks, right? The ones that have been beaten down a little bit. And we've got earnings coming up pretty soon on November 10th, so not too far off. And obviously, whenever Kathy Wood announces she bought something, it's going to move up big. So she's already making some money on it. So that is good, MKFG. And CHX, nowhere to go to meet bros. Oh, yeah, says Kitchener Leslie. Yeah, possible. That could be an attraction, right? Maybe they'll head down to Dutch Bros for that. And Hobby Outlet says, hey, bro, if you can give me your DD on CTRM, I was way over my head, and I've been holding since $4, and it's up 2% today. Let's take a look at CTRM, I think is CTRM, yep. Castor Merit. Oh, I think I used to hold this stock at one point. I believe I held this stock. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Let me look. Let me see what I can find on this. If I have any of my old Robinhood data on it, I'll see what I can find for you guys. But I am curious about it. CTRM. Let's see. I believe I used to hold this. Let's see. Where is my history? Where is the history? Okay, so looking at the history for CTRM, I believe it was CTRM. It might have been something else. I wish I could search through my history, but when would I have been holding this? Around February of last year, I think, is probably when I would have held some of it. Not sure if I'm going to be able to find this, but I think I held CTRM at some point. I think it was pumping up big because, let's look at orders, just orders. Okay, CTRM. So we got to go back even further in 2019. No. Well, I can't find it right now. The Robinhood, it's not great for searching through your order history and whatnot, but CTRM, yeah, I think I held this because I believe they were doing very well. Let me look this up and just make sure they're the one that I'm thinking of. But I believe they're a shipping company, if I'm not mistaken. I believe they're a shipping company. Let's take a look at them on. So they're headquartered in Cyprus. Yeah, 1 second. Let me pull up the Robinhood again and look at CTRM real quick. But yeah, I think maybe they changed their ticker symbol, and that's why I'm not recognizing CTRM. So they engage in providing shipping transportation, yes. So the reason that they were pumping up massively in the past, I think, was because way back when oil was getting very cheap, oil was in the negatives, and people were having trouble storing oil. So they actually started hiring a bunch of ships to just hold the oil, right? They would pay these ships massive quantities of oil to use their storage space and just hold oil that was priced negatively, right? It would have cost them money to sell it on the market at one point just because there was no place to store it. And that's why oil ended up becoming priced negatively, right? You had to pay to get your oil taken away if you had a bunch of oil barrels. At one point, oil was negative. So it was very interesting to see. I think I bought into it and then did a little trade on it and sold out eventually because I didn't think that over the long term it would be a great business to be in. And you can see that over the past, well, if we look at 3 years, but if you look at 5 years, they were at highs of about 189. They have been trending down. They saw a little bit of a boost due to this oil thing. So it's up 2% on the day. But I'm not sure about it, right? They're just providing shipping solutions, and it looks like they haven't been the most profitable. Let's see if we can't pull up some info. I'm not holding them still, right? I just bought into them for the short play on oil, but looks like they're at a P of 17, $228 million market cap. It's not encouraging, though. I think the reason I ended up selling out of them was because I saw that they had just been decreasing year after year after year, going down, it looks like. All the way from $70. It looks like they have some dilution issues, though more recently it looks like their earnings have been positive. So maybe they are starting to turn a new leaf. When is this earnings call coming out? Let's see when this earnings call is. So they do just have an earnings call coming out on the 4th. So that could actually be good for them, right? They have been churning out better earnings numbers. If you look at the past year, 2 cents per share, 7 cents per share. Potentially they'll be doing decently now. I know shipping's a tricky industry to be in, especially now, especially with the pandemic. It certainly didn't help a lot of people. They certainly did well, though, when oil was negative. But with CTRM, I think it'll be important to watch what happens with China and the U.S. and how much we end up trading with them. And because I know that a lot of the times we end up sending back shipping containers empty. So that's my opinion on it. So let's see. So Hobby Outlet, I never sold, bro. You sold then? Yeah, and missed out on the pump. Yeah, unfortunate, but yeah, I think it watch their next earnings and see what happens with their next earnings. It looks like they're trending up in anticipation that they could be good. So we'll see. But Independence Hall says, for someone who loves talking, Trump has been very quiet on TMTG. Yeah, he has. I'm looking forward to when he starts speaking about it. I'm looking forward to that. And Jacob Hillard, morning, Rob. Thanks again for the awesome content. Keep up the great content. Quick question. Is the low volume of DWAC indicating that people are holding new to trading? Sorry if that's a bad question. No, that's not a bad question. So it's not low volume, I will point out. It's not low volume. It's much lower than it was. Let's look over the past 30 days. So obviously, there was absolutely massive volume on this stock the first day, right? Huge volume. However, what's important to note is that volume is going to go down as price goes up because people have less money to put in it, right? This is a sub $20 stock right here, trading 50 million shares. So if you do the math on that, I think if you multiply it by 2, that might even be $1 billion trading in that 30-minute cycle. It might be. I think if you do the math, it is. So $1 billion trading right there. Then if you look over here, it's a almost $100 stock. At times it's a $100 stock trading 10 million shares. That's still $1 billion worth of volume. So it's the same amount of money that was trading in this minute, the highest volume bar we had, and the highest volume bar we had this day as well. It was actually the same amount of cash flowing through the stock because the price is so much higher. So obviously, as the price goes way up, people aren't going to be able to buy as many shares, and so less are going to trade hands. However, we have seen a decrease the following days, right? It has moved down slightly. Even today, we've moved down a little bit. That's just as the initial hype and news wore off a little bit. But it is no surprise, that we saw decreasing volume, pretty much day after day since the initial pump up, right? It has gotten a lot more expensive. We're not going to see this level of volume before now because we're above $50, and we pretty much traded below 50 the whole day. And you can see that as we were getting more expensive, even though it was power hour and whatnot, the volume was decreasing a bit. People were much more able to buy this when it was sub $20, right, in massive quantities. So that's why the volume has been decreasing. But also the hype has worn off a little bit, right? When people first hear about it, they're going to get in. Some people are going to hold, and just as we continue moving on, the volume is just naturally going to decrease after hypey events. So that's nothing new, to be expected, right? We could see an increase in volume if Trump talks about DWAC, if we get some more news coming on about it. Hopefully we will. But that's the answer to your question, Jacob. Hopefully that was good. That's a good question, though. So, and good morning to you as well. So let's see, Finocchinaro's hobby outlet. Thanks, bro. I really appreciate it. If I don't have a crazy amount in it, but definitely lost out on it. Yeah, that is unfortunate. Yeah. So it sounds like you'd been holding it for a while if you were around during the first pump, but yeah, it was an interesting play, and it could be doing good. It looks like they're starting to have some good earnings, looking over the past year, so maybe this will be good earnings for them as well. Let's hope. So Kitchener-Leslie, I thought the Trump merger was supposed to be today. I don't think so. I don't think it's going through today. I don't think they're. I don't think so, at least, right? Unless I'm really out of the loop. I think we would see a lot more volume around DWAC if they were literally turning to TMTG today. So let's see. Let's see when it's going to merge. I'm not sure if we have a date out yet. I think that they just announced that they were going to do this merger. Typically, stuff will stay as a SPAC for a little bit before actually merging with the company that it's going to. So yeah, I don't think, unfortunately, Kitchener-Leslie, that TMTG is going to start trading today. I would be surprised. I think we'd have a little bit more buzz around it on the news tab of this if it was actually going through today. But I do notice that we have 115 viewers, 114 likes. Let's see if we can't bump that up. Let's see if we can't bump it up maybe to 120, 125. Could potentially get either 6 or 11 votes. That would be nice, or not votes, likes on the video. Talking too much election talk, but yeah, let's see if we can't bump this up. Just a couple of likes, get some more people in the stream. We're up to 117 already. Some people are heeding my call. Hopefully we can get up to 120, 119. We're getting very close. 120 or 125. That's what we're aiming for. 125 optimistically. But it looks like DWAC is starting to move back down to the lows of day. Unfortunately, right? We have moved down. 65.50 is where we've stagnated at. Hopefully we won't move too far below that. But PROG, on the other hand, is kind of going through something similar, right? Except not near their lows of day, which we're at 350. Good to see on PROG. Happy that we're not that lower at 360. We got 126. Thank you, guys. That was the optimistic outcome that I was hoping for. So there we go. Good on that. And Lucid has finally started to regain some positive momentum. We're starting to move up a little bit on Lucid. We did get crushed earlier today, but we're back in the green, right? So if you were holding since close yesterday, you're up 0.19% on Lucid. So good news for those people holding Lucid stock. Right, that's awesome. We will take a look, just for those of you who are interested in Lucid. And actually, let me make a poll real quick. I am curious what you guys are most bullish on of these stocks that we're watching right now. Which are you most bullish on today? So we're just asking about what we think is going to rise the most on today's trading day. We'll add the first one, DWAC. Next one, we'll do PROG. PROG is sitting at a 0% change from close, so that's interesting. It could be Lucid, and we might include PHUN. And yeah, we'll do PHUN. So there we go. We're creating the poll. We're going to see what people vote for. We'll see what people are most bullish on the day. So let's see. Jacob Hillard, thank you. Appreciate the breakdown. You're welcome, man. And Hobby Outlet, more info on PROG, bro. Def looking at it. Yeah, PROG. Hopefully we're going to start bouncing off of 360 sometime soon. That's the hope. And let's see what the results are. 50% of people so far, of the 4, have said they're most bullish on PHUN. So we've got a poll going up now. If anyone wants to, if anyone's just listening, you want to pull out your phone and start voting in that poll. We've got 12 votes in it so far. A lot of people are taking interest in this. It's a fierce battle. It looks like PHUN is in the lead for now. But DWAC and PROG and Lucid are all tied at 23%, and a lot of people bullish on PHUN. So let's see. Nick Washington, does PHUN have more room to drop? If so, I think I'm going to go back to Doge to make some gains back. So let's take a look at PHUN. So yeah, definitely, if we break down below 4, if 4 doesn't act as support, then we're definitely dropping more. And it's not looking great considering that DWAC is moving down, which was the worst case scenario for PHUN. The fact that DWAC is starting to move down could indicate that it's getting ready to break down below its $4 support, which we are technically sitting below right now, but we haven't really broken through it. We're still very close. Hopefully we will regain that level. Hopefully DWAC and PHUN will move back up and hopefully end the day green, right? A lot of people, it looks like, are bullish on DWAC. PROG in a close second at 26%. We've still got some votes coming in here. We've only got 27 votes so far. But with PHUN, yeah, we are hopeful that we can end above 4, but 4 is going to be really key for us. If you look back at the past 30 days, you can see that just about 4 days ago, we used 4 as a key support after we had pumped up massively, right? So off the highs, we were moving down, and 4 is where we caught ourselves before moving up. We got up above 5, almost to 6, and since then we've been trending down a little bit, and now we're hitting 4 again. So hopefully we don't break through it. That would be not ideal for us. We wouldn't like that, but it does have some room to move down. And speaking of Doge, let me pull up CoinMarketCap and see what's going on with Shiba Inu and Dogecoin, because those we haven't looked at today, and they have surely been trading over the weekend. Yeah, so Dogecoin, it looks like it moved down a little bit. It was at a $40 billion market cap on Friday, I believe, when we were watching it. But Shiba Inu at $39 billion right here, so outpacing Doge. Very impressive stuff. Up 12% on the day. If we look at the daily chart or the monthly chart, let's see, we're near all-time highs. We're getting very close again to breaking out of all-time highs with Shiba Inu, and all-time highs are 8,719. So not dollars, but fractions of a cent. And with Doge, we are going to look at that real quick and see it's at 26.96 right now, cents, 26.96 cents. So not quite near, not even too close to our most recent highs of 32. We're at 29, 27. So not that far off, but not too close. And our all-time highs were at 68, but that's just with this chart showing. I think the all-time actual highs were at 78. So yeah, Dogecoin and Shiba Inu. It'll be interesting to see. Maybe we can see a breakout with Bitcoin, get all the cryptos rallying. That would be interesting. But Bitcoin did get stopped out. We recently made all-time highs with Bitcoin at 66,000. All-time at 66,878. It looks like is the all-time high that we have on this chart. So very, very cool. Very cool. If anyone's holding Bitcoin, I am holding a little bit of Bitcoin. I also hold, I'll pull this up again. I also hold a little bit of Ethereum and Dogecoin as well as Shiba Inu. Those are the 4 cryptos that I hold, and it looks like they're all up pretty big over the past while. Over the past month at least, they've all been doing pretty good. So bullish on those. So Independence Hall, DWAC really needs to hold 65. Next level could be back to 50. Yes, I agree with that. It really does need to hold 65. Hopefully we will not be moving down. We're down about 3% on the day. We really need Trump to say something about it to move this thing back up. I want us to get back above 70 because that would actually be a nice support to have, where I would not be too worried about us dropping much further. But, you know, it's not out of the question for us to go back to 50 with DWAC. It really isn't out of the question, and it could almost be a good thing because in the comments I've noticed there are a lot of people who want to buy this thing and they are waiting for a dip, and that could serve to lower the available float of the stock, right? If this thing goes back to 50, a lot of people see that as an opportunity to get in. They end up buying it. There's a much lower float after that. If we did start seeing a move upwards, if we saw some kind of a push up on a big catalyst, maybe some news comes out about it, that could actually be good. If we had bumped down to 50 at that point and more people had bought up shares, it could be good. So I wouldn't be the most opposed to it going to 50, but I would start getting wary. You know, if this thing got down to 40 or 45, I might start considering dropping some of my shares at that point, right? That really could be bearish for us over the long term if we do drop down that low. I would not like to see it, and I would still want to get out of this with a profit because my average price was $24.18, and I'd still want a decent profit. So if we drop below, $40, I'd be looking to sell some, but not too worried about it. I don't think that's going to happen. So Let's go PHUN. I bought 300 shares today, says Daniel Borrego. Nice, man. And wow, we've done really well with the likes, up at 131 likes. That's awesome. And Edward Lowry says, bought 400 shares, average of 499. Let's go. Nice. Yeah, hopefully it will not turn into a bad investment, right? It's down, it's below 4 right now. I'm hoping that we can regain $4 support and start moving up. And San Diego says, crypto is a Ponzi scheme. You can make money with both. Crypto just has gimmick. Yeah, I can definitely see that perspective. I definitely agree that at least the way that we're trading cryptos now almost doesn't make the most sense. The idea that that this is a really good technology, that people are going to be able to use blockchain and the networks that they've built with these cryptos to do transactions very quickly and easily and securely. That makes sense to me, but I don't necessarily know why that means. Why does the price of a coin have to go up? Other than just supply and demand, you're essentially convincing more people to buy it than sell it. So in that sense, it doesn't necessarily stand to reason why the price of these cryptos, like why Ethereum needs to trade for 4,000 a coin, because you can use it to make transactions. When it's $1 a coin, $2 a coin, it doesn't need to be 4,000. There's no reason that Ethereum needs to rise that much other than supply and demand, right? So though I hold Bitcoin and Ethereum, Shiba Inu and Doge, I'm not the most bullish on the fundamentals of why the coins are worth so much. I just expect that, potentially they could rise a bit more, and you never know what people are going to do. It's possible that I just don't understand crypto as well as some expert that knows why a Bitcoin is worth $62,000, why it should be at that price, what it's doing to provide value that makes it worth that. Maybe there's a reason, but I just tend to think that there isn't too much of it other than supply and demand, and that's mainly why the prices of these cryptos change. So that's what I think about crypto. Doesn't mean I'm not going to hold it, because I realize that potentially I'm wrong, potentially there is a reason to buy it that I'm just unaware of, and past performance, it has been doing pretty well. So I'm not worried about holding it. I think that I might lose a little bit of money if people realize it's all scam and it all crashes, but I do think there's some good technology with it. So fingers crossed on it. Yeah, I'm hoping that it just keeps going up for whatever reason, as unjustified as it might be. I'm willing to make some money on it, And Let's Go Brandon says 100%. Yeah, that's what I think about crypto. Don't quite understand it as well as some of the people online who are really into it, but I've still even when I have talked to some of my friends who are big on crypto, I've yet to hear a really convincing answer about why the coins are valued, right? Why they actually matter, why it matters what their price is, why they should be going up in price. Very cool technology though. Nick S. Coinbase is a rip. Where does everyone purchase their crypto? I get mine on Robinhood. And I have some on Webull. I've not used Coinbase, but most of mine is on Robinhood. Very little bit on Webull. So that's the answer to that question, Nick S. But I'm curious where everyone else buys their crypto. But yeah, no, you know what I think could be doing good regarding cryptocurrency? I think that the cryptocurrency brokerages, the ones that are doing these cryptocurrency transactions on these markets, could actually be doing pretty good. And that's similar to when there was a gold rush in California. There's an old saying, when there's a gold rush, some of the smarter investors wanted to be not in the gold business, but in the picks and shovels business, right? They want to sell the tools that people use to mine gold during the gold rush in California to them, because that's a guaranteed business. People are going to buy those picks and shovels because they need them to go searching for gold. If you're actually going searching for gold yourself, there's no guarantee you're going to find it. So it could be a good idea to buy into these brokerages that are just collecting fees for allowing these crypto transactions to occur. So that could actually be a good thing to do. I think I hold some Coinbase, so I'm in that business as well. But I may as well gamble a little bit with the cryptos in addition to that. So, yep. So that's what I think about crypto, though. That's my opinion on it. And it looks like PHUN is dipping down. We're getting to the lows of day at 392. Hopefully we won't drop too much further, but it is looking like DWAC is taking a bit of a tumble. That could be encouraging this sell-off in PHUN. We'll have to see what happens with it. Obviously, PHUN is down a bit more, about a little bit more than double what DWAC is down. So, not looking great for either of those. But over the long term, or well, no, I should say more short to midterm, I'm not too worried about DWAC. PHUN just made lows of day though. So it looks like on the poll, which are you most bullish on today? A lot of you guys are saying DWAC. That would would potentially be where my vote is as well. Though at the moment, it's not looking good right now. I might, if we're talking about straight up today, which will be up the most percentage-wise, it could be PROG, right? If we end up getting to $4, it's not impossible that we could see a spike up to 4. That would be a fairly substantial percentage increase. Lucid is promising, right? It's up the most of all of them. It's actually green on the day. The others are all red. It's only up 1%, and it already has such a large market cap. It's going to be tough. Maybe it could get closer to 40. We'll have to see. It looks like we are forming a nice V shape on Lucid right now, but it's not guaranteed that that's going to continue. And it is such a large market cap. It would be tough to get a large percentage gain increase today. Now that some of the hype has worn off, but with PROG, I really think of the 4, if something was to spike up, assuming that we don't get a big catalyst for DWAC coming out, that we don't see some massive catalyst coming out, then I think PROG might actually be the greenest on the day. It has the potential to, at least, right? If I was a gambling man, I'd be betting on PROG. Fortunately, I can just hold a little bit of some of these companies. I don't think I never actually touched PHUN. I never bought into PHUN. I heard about it a little bit too late, but I was also not wanting to get in on another Trump pump stock because I was already holding a decent amount of DWAC. How much am I holding? I have a profit of 6,000. So let me see on the monitor tab how much this is. Got a liquid position of $9,800. Nice. Okay, on DWAC. Cool. All right. So let's zoom in a little bit there on PHUN. We are starting to make lows of $3 or $3.90 on PHUN. That's not ideal. Not ideal to see that. Let me be back real quick. Quick bathroom break, and then I heard my washing machine went off, so I need to put that stuff in the dryer. I'll be right back, guys. This will take 1 second. Okay, now I'm about to take care of the laundry, but if you guys could smash that like button while I'm gone, that would be much appreciated. It'll take like 2 minutes. 2 minutes. I'll be right back, guys. Real quick. Okay, and we're back, finally. Nice. Took care of that. So I do actually want to change the poll up a little bit. I am curious. Now, we were talking about crypto a little bit ago, and I'm curious how many people actually own crypto and which cryptos you guys own. So I am going to make a new poll questioning, what your top crypto holdings are, or I will probably just ask, which crypto is your favorite, or if you own crypto at all. So let's make a new poll right here. Which crypto do you own the most of? And we'll do Bitcoin, Ethereum. I hope I'm spelling that right. Then, man, I don't know. I don't know if we should do Dogecoin or Shiba Inu. I guess I wanted to have an option where, you could say I don't own any, because that would be interesting to see. But, let's get rid of Ethereum. Let's get rid of it. It's a little bit less. It's not as big as Bitcoin, but we'll do Doge. Bitcoin, Doge, SHIB, and none. And there we go. Not everyone will be able to vote, but I feel like we've gotten 3 of the most popular. And we'll see. We'll see what people say. For me, I think my number 1 holding in crypto is actually Dogecoin, but it did not start out that way. It just happened to grow the most because I got in on it kind of early. But now I think second largest is Bitcoin, then Ethereum, then SHIB is my smallest. It looks like a lot of people already voting that they don't own any crypto. I'm in at 13 cents with 8,100 Doge. Nice buy on that. That's awesome. That's good. Yeah, no, I got into Doge really early. Sub a penny, I think, is when I first got into it, and was not holding much. Wish I was holding a lot more, but no, it still went up really significantly, tens of thousands of dollars. When Elon started pumping it, and when it really was at its peaks, that was crazy. But yeah, I wish I'd bought in a little bit more. Just own Ethereum. Plan to hold for a while. I'm in DWACW for 70K at 40, down 20K so far. Stressful week. Overextend myself on this one, says Independence Hall. Yeah, let's take a look at DWACW. That is, it's down below 29. And it's not looking horrible considering what happened to DWAC today, right? Down 3% on DWAC, so 7% on DWACW tends to be a bit more volatile, so understandable. You can see if we zoom in, actually, right, that DWAC was moving up, and then DWACW started trending down a bit more harshly when DWAC stopped trending up. So understandably, I think a lot of traders are using this just to gain a little bit more leverage. So let's see. Is someone else talking about AIDA, or is Kitchener Leslie asking, why do I hate AIDA? I don't think I do. Ada Pharmaceuticals. Oh, maybe we were talking about this. Let me take a look at the Yahoo Finance on AIDA. I don't think I said I hate AIDA, though. Oh, here we go. So, Ada Healthcare Solutions. Let's see what the news is on this one. I can't even find a Yahoo Finance page. Or AIAD, my bad. AIAD. AID advertising. Yeah, okay. AIAD, my bad. My bad about that. $26 million market cap. Let's see. When did I say I hated it? I don't remember saying that I hate AIAD. Not that I remember, at least. So it looks like we're at 2.5 cents right now. With AIAD, we were down at 1 cent not long ago. But it looks like it could be decent. It was up at 6 at one point. So what happened when it pumped up to 6. So this was on the 26th when advertising names new chief product and marketing officer. And all right, okay. Or no, this was actually more recent. There is no news that bumped it up. I think it might just be a volume play. And you can see, very low market cap, $26 million market cap. So doesn't surprise me that AIDA was able to pump up quite a bit. But they are doing decently over the past year. It looks like they were down at below a cent around then. So they're doing decently, and they did pump up pretty big way back when, around the beginning of the year in January and in February. They were still doing pretty good, reaching highs of 18 cents. So I don't think I hate it. I just don't know enough about them to be interested in this stock or invest in it, because I think we did look at it maybe last Friday. Let's see what we can pull up. So let's see. Let's go with some market watch. Yeah, it's interesting. AI, they engage in the provision of cloud-driven electronic and mobile commerce solutions. Provides digital advertising solutions. The firm's service include data analytics, digital marketing. Okay, so yeah, interesting company. Just very low market cap. And I am actually a fan of low market cap companies like that. They do have the potential. They do have the potential to move up quite a bit if good news comes out for them. Maybe you meant Jesus. I get those mixed up. Maybe. Treble says Catgirl coin. I've not heard of that. So it looks like most of you guys, either don't own any crypto at all or are on Shiba Inu. I would be curious if Dogecoin is up there at 10%. Look at that. Messing with me. I see. All right. Good. Good. I thought I was going crazy there. I had no idea what you were talking about. Leaving this up. Hope you're still there when I come back. Yeah, hopefully. We're going to be closing the stream around 12. That's when we tend to close the stream, Hobby Outlet. But, if you're still here, then if you can get back early, then I will still be here. And it looks like, since we are getting, I should mention, we're getting close to the end of the stream. It's past 11. So we've only got about an hour left. And the goal is to get to 150 likes on the stream this time. And we are at 137 right now. So if we could get 13 more, we could just knock that goal right out of the water. We're at 138. We are climbing, so that is good. We were at 136 just a little bit ago. It would be nice to get 150 on this stream, and it does help near the end, especially as we have more viewers and whatnot. It helps to get some more people in here. Noble H says, "Hey Rob, I can't remember if you've ever done a video on it, but I'm curious about your thoughts on Clove. I'm currently down $5 a share. Bought it when it was hot, and now it's not. Well, yeah, I've made a bunch of videos on Clove. In the past I did, but lately we'll look at Clove. I have not done a video lately, and it has since subsided, right? The last time we talked about it, I think, was when it was pumping up and it was getting above 10, but it looks like that got killed off by some shorts. So now we've got earnings coming up, though. So that is a potential time when this could start moving up. I don't expect the earnings to be amazing, right? It's still a pretty early company, so, not too likely that they're going to have a positive earnings call in the sense that they'll have made earnings, right? They'll still probably be losing a little bit of money. The CEO himself, I believe, when we were covering it way back when, was saying that, it would take a while for them to really hunker down on their business and to actually get operations going. He said it would be a couple of years, but that Clove would be a good long-term play. At least that's what the CEO was saying. So yeah, I have covered it in the past, but not too lately, but earnings could be interesting, right? It might be what we need to get us back up above 8. We'll see. We have been trending up the past couple of days, potentially in expectation of the earnings. So maybe we'll start making a move above 8, and after 8, next stop is 10. So hopefully we can get back up there. I hold some Clove, so I'm hoping that it'll go up as well. It's more of a long-term play, right? But if there was a short squeeze on it, I would not complain about that. We used to look at Clove a lot on the channel, so I will pull it up on Ortex. You can see DWAC curling a bit. Say something, Donald. Yeah, I hope so. I hope he speaks on it. But yeah, we're starting to move up a little bit. That's good. And I wonder what we're doing with PHUN. But let's look at Clove first. Yeah, still around a 12% short interest as a percentage of the free floats. Not the highest, but also not the lowest. Not the lowest, that's for sure. It looked like we were around a 70% utilization. So let's take a look at PHUN. Okay, $3.97. So okay, so that's good. We bounced off of 390. That's really good. I like seeing that. What are your predictions for PHUN this week up until Friday, says Edward Lowry? I think that we're going to follow PHUN pretty closely. I think that what PHUN does is most likely going to be similar to what I think that what DWAC does is most likely going to indicate to us what's going to happen with PHUN. That's what I meant to say. So, as you can see, even right now, DWAC is moving up a little bit. So is PHUN. They tend to follow each other pretty closely. Not necessarily, a little bit today, but not as much. However, I think that if Trump says something about DWAC and that gets DWAC moving up again, I think that some people would be moving back into Clove. It is a sympathy play, so I think it's likely that could be the case. Now, it just depends. Is Trump going to say something before this Friday? Are we actually going to get PHUN moving up again? That's really what it's going to be based on. So I couldn't necessarily say a price prediction. I could say, though, that if we do break below 4, that would be very bad for PHUN. I would not like to see us staying below 4 throughout the course of the day. And if we do, then it could mean that we're moving much, maybe not much lower, but lower at the very least, right? 3 might be our next stop. We'll see. But if we can gain support at 4, though, that could also be very good, right? We could bounce up, maybe get up to 440, somewhere around there. But we'll have to see what happens with DWAC. I think that if DWAC can get back up above 70, PHUN can get back up above 4 and do decently well, at least today. We'll see, though. So we've only got 37 votes in this poll. It looks like not too many people are interested in crypto. Well, it also only started 10 minutes ago, but so far, most of the people say they own SHIB as their highest percentage holding of their crypto portfolio. 45% of people own the most SHIB, Shiba Inu coin, and 32%, the next, don't own any crypto. After that, it's Bitcoin, and then very few people actually own Doge, apparently. That definitely used to be more popular in the past. I could almost guarantee that 5 or 6 months ago, Doge would have been where SHIB is at 46%. 46% of people would have owned Doge. Now it almost seems like a lot of the Dogecoin community. I know some of them do not like SHIB holders, but a lot of them almost seem to have gone over to SHIB, which I kind of did. Right, I still own Doge and I still own SHIB, so I didn't sell my Doge to buy SHIB, but SHIB is interesting, right? It has moved up quite a bit. But Lucid has also been doing decently, right? Over the past hour or so, they have managed to gain some support at 36. They've moved up. Now we're at 37. We're above 37, hopefully making our way back towards 40. That will be a tough climb over the course of the day. There's no guarantee that we're going to be able to get there straight off the bat. We might not get there today. And this climb that we've been experiencing could end. We could start sinking again. It's not impossible that we'll see a couple of red bars in a little bit, but I do like Lucid, right, over the long term. It's just that we've risen so much. So I'm not saying that Lucid's going to fall, but it's not guaranteed that we're going to be staying as high as we are. Look at us. We're talking about doggy coins. Yeah, independence. Yeah, we are. Yeah, it's interesting how those became so popular. I mean, I didn't buy into them when they were becoming popular. I bought them a little bit before, but yeah, it's a strange world that we live in. A lot of those coins. Very, very interesting stuff. So let me see how the markets are doing. I do want to pull that up. Man, it looks like there's some pain in the markets today, except for Tesla. Tesla and Facebook are both green, but Microsoft, Apple, Google, Amazon, all in the red. All in the red. Google not doing too good, down 1.86%. But overall, it's a mixed market. I mean, you see big red and small green everywhere. So it looks like maybe some of the larger market caps are suffering and some of the smaller ones are benefiting, which actually, if you look, that you can see that is exactly the case, right? Take a look at the SPY. Which is typically much larger market cap stocks. And then look at IWM, the Russell's up 2%. So that is definitely the case, right? Small market caps are pumping up, and larger market caps are getting beaten down a little bit. And you can definitely see that in the chart, right? The larger these boxes, the larger the market cap. Most of the big ones tend to be red, and most of the small ones, it's looking like they're green, at least in the energy sector especially, as well as restaurants are doing decently. McDonald's and Starbucks doing pretty good. So what is CMG? Chipotle, yeah. I like Chipotle. All right, so we'll pull back up DWAC, but that was just a brief look at the markets because I do like to give little updates on those. Let's pull up DWAC and PHUN can come back here. Yeah, so looks like PHUN is suffering a little bit. Starting to move back down towards 390. Hopefully we won't get that low. And we are, I will point out, very close. We have 144 likes on the stream, and we are trying to get to 150. We could bump that up just a touch more. Very close to 150. That is the goal for today's stream. We've only got 29 minutes left to reach it, too. So hopefully we can do it, but this has been a good stream thus far. We've talked about quite a bit. So, and we got 46 votes on the poll. Still, most of the people say SHIB. Most of the people own SHIB on this stream. Either SHIB or nothing. So it's all or nothing in SHIB. And then a couple of people own Bitcoin. Even fewer own Doge. Basically, nobody owns Doge. So let me end this poll. That was interesting to see, though. It was fairly close to what I expected, right? Obviously, Shiba Inu was going to be the number one just because it is so popular and so hyped up right now. And it has to have a very large following for it to have this large of a market cap. But we can actually see, we'll pull that up real quick, the coin market caps. They are dwarfed by some of these larger cryptos, especially Ethereum and Bitcoin, right? Those are the two biggest, 1.15 trillion and 511 million. So really the 511 billion as well. But Shiba Inu was only at 39 billion and Doge is at 35. So fairly low. Kitchener-Leslie, 11K members, ADA. Jack Bear says ADA. But what's 11K members? I'm curious. Kitchener-Leslie, I am curious about that. What is 11K members? But we'll look at ADA stock. We'll see if that has anything interesting for us. Ameridata Technologies. I'm not sure if this is a real ticker or if this is just pulling something. Let me pull it up on Google and see what happens. ADA stock. Okay, so maybe ADA is a crypto actually. It might be a crypto. Let's search for it here. Pull it back up. ADA might be Cardano. Oh, okay, yeah. Cardano. That's yeah. I've definitely heard of Cardano, but that's a weird ticker symbol for it to have. Why would they make it ADA? It should be CRD, CRNO or something like that. Cardano ADA. Yeah. No, I've not bought into Cardano. I'm not quite sure what its deal is. Supposedly it's maybe like an Ethereum, right? It's supposed to have a lot of utility, but just is it not as much as Ethereum? Maybe, I'm not sure. But it is a very large market cap, number 5 crypto, 65 billion. But I've not invested in Cardano. The only 4 that I own are Bitcoin, Ethereum, Shiba, and Doge. So the 2 old reliables, right? Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then ADA. It's named after mathematician Ada Lovelace. Oh, very cool. Very cool. Thank you, Independence Hall. That's cool. Yeah, that's interesting. But I've not heard of the bull case for Cardano. I'm not sure why it's one of the largest market caps, but a lot of people do seem to like it. Some of the YouTubers that I watch, like Andre Geek, talk about Cardano. Meet Kevin talks about Cardano. I've not bought into it yet, and we only need 3 more likes actually to get to that 150 mark. So hopefully we can get there, and I'll get rid of this 88 chart. I'll pull up PHUN again. We'll pull up PHUN. YouTube blocked the Reddit link. Oh, well, yeah, YouTube does that. YouTube doesn't like weird links, unfortunately. But that's too bad. But all right, PHUN getting very close to $4 again. Very close. We're at 397. I really hope that we can get back up to 4 before the end of the day, because if we do stay below 4 for too long, that's not a good look. Traders might start to take heed of that. Might start to increase their short positions on it. Our DWAC stock. All right, let's see. Let's look at that. So, you play any options? If so, what tickers you watch? So, I used to do options a bit, Stephen Orr, but I found that the time value decay tended to destroy them. So now I take 2 options strategies into account typically when I'm trading options. Either I sell, most likely put options, right? I don't want to sell call options unless I guess I do sell call options if I have shares of a stock already. So with a stock like the stock like Sundial, I will sell call options every now and then when it pumps some of my shares, right? I won't sell all of my shares. I won't sell call options for all of my shares, but if you look at the past year, I bought it when it was around 19 cents. You can't even see it on the chart anymore. It was a little bit over a year ago. But when it did pump up massively, there was the option to sell call options for very high premiums. So I would sell call options that were covered by the shares that I owned, always out of the money. So I would always be expected to make a big gain, even if it expired in the money. I'd be still making a massive gain from where I was selling them, as well as collecting the premium. So I've been doing that for a while. I haven't been doing it lately because it has just subsided in price so much. I think that we are due for a big burst, and that's when I would start selling the call options again. But another strategy with DWAC, I actually sold a put option, right? Because DWAC, I'm bullish on, but I would like to get some more shares. Don't necessarily just want to pay the market price. I'd rather take the chance that it drops a bit and collect the premium. Okay, and Edward Lowry, I will explain call options in just a moment. But I ended up just selling a put option to essentially get myself a better entry price if it does happen to drop that low. I think it was an $80 put option that I sold, so with a $20 premium, so a break-even price of around $60. So we're still making money on that if it did expire today. But my expectation is we'll potentially be moving up above, maybe not above $80 by the expiration. It's November 19th. We'll see. It could take a bit. It really depends on when Trump starts talking about this. But we'll see what happens with that. So Edward Lowry, can you explain call options? I've always wanted to get into them, but I've never really understood it too well. Yeah, so call options. So let's look at different stock, not DWAC, but let's look at Apple. That should be a good one. Or, yeah, Apple's a well-known company. We'll look at Apple call options just for this explanation. So when you look at options for something, you have a bunch of different strike dates. There are key components of options, right? There's the strike date, which is the date that the option expires on. There's the strike price, which if you click on a strike date, you can see all the strike prices right here in the middle, the actual price of the stock, right? So those are the prices that the options expire at. And then there's the bid/ask of the call option, right? This is the left side is calls, the right side is puts. We'll explain calls though. So with a stock like Apple, it's currently trading at $232, and you have your choice of a bunch of these different strike dates. Let's say, just for fun, you want to look at the November 17th strike date because you think Apple is going up sometime before November 17th. You think Apple is going to go up in a big way. So say you don't have that much capital to throw into Apple, right? Apple's an expensive stock. It costs about $200 per share. So, if you bought it at $232, and then, you thought it was maybe going to 240, or even if you thought it was going to 250, you've only made $20 if you bought one share of it, right? So not that much money. However, if you bought call options, say you thought it was going to, what did we say, 250? Maybe you buy the $240 call options because you expect it to go up a bunch. So look at these call options. They sell with a bid of 96 cents and an ask of 99. Now, every call option contract, every options contract is multiplied by 100, so it covers 100 shares of stock. So you'd actually be paying about $100, I think, for buying one of these. But it still sells at 96, right? So you would be paying about $96 or $99 because it's multiplied by 100. However, say Apple ended up rising to $250 by November 17th, which is the strike date for this day. These call options, you're basically paying, you're paying the price of the option for the right to buy Apple at $240. So this is, it's a kind of complicated topic. I'm sure I'm not explaining it perfectly in an understandable way because there are a lot of moving parts. Let me try and maybe write something down so you can see it visualized. Let me pull it up here. Look up my name, Kitchener Leslie, when you get a chance, but stay away from my girlfriend. Okay, I will assume you are joking around, Kitchener Leslie. I'm not sure what you were messing with me earlier, so I'm not sure what you're talking about. But let's do an options explained. Okay, so here we go. Options explained. So the key components of options are strike date, strike price, and then I guess the premium, right? Okay, so the strike date is the option expiration date. So this is when the option exercises or expires worthless. So like we saw November 17th right here, that's when the option is either going to expire in the money and you're going to be getting shares of the stock because you bought the option, you have the right to buy the stock for less. So when the option expires, the strike price is the price at which you can buy the stock. And this is call options. So put options is the price at which you can sell the stock, but for call options is the price at which you can buy the stock. And the premium is how much you pay for the right to buy the stock. So those are the key terms that you need to know. But hopefully the explanation is done decently. Basically, let me try to explain it in another way, right? So say basically forget the prices here. These are kind of probably confusing, right? Just seeing all these prices, ignore that. Let's just do an example right here. Let's just say stock XYZ stock XYZ sells or trades for $10 right now. Trades for $10 currently, and you want to buy it, but you don't have that much capital. You think it's going up to 20. And you think it's going to $20. So, I realize now that I have been typing a lot, and that has almost certainly been messing with the camera. I realize that now. So sorry about that. We've been flipping around on the camera a little bit. I do have the camera set to change when I hit 1, 2, and 3. So this is 1. It's just the face cam. 2 is the screen and the face, and 3 is no face at all. But hopefully you're still sticking around for this explanation. But okay, so you think the stock is going to $20. Currently it's trading for 10. So maybe you'll buy a $15 call option. Sorry about that. We need to, right, there we go. So you might buy a $15 call option, and this is going to give you the option to buy the stock at $15 a share by the strike date. So let's just say the strike date's far out. Forget the strike date for the moment. But the strike date's a ways away. You're buying the $15 call while the stock is trading for 10, with your expectation that's going for 20. Maybe you pay a dollar premium. Okay, and we need to get this back on 2. So you pay a $1 premium. So essentially what's going to happen... Yeah, I'm right. Yeah, I'm right here. Nice. Okay, good. So say you buy this $15 call option, you pay a $1 premium, and if we look at the chart right here, you can see with Apple, let's say you were buying the $240 call option. This is the premium right here, between $1 and $1.03. So, the premiums vary based off of how volatile the stock is. But let's say you pay a $1 premium. So let's say at the strike date, which is in maybe 10 days or something, let's say at the strike date, the stock is trading at $15. Well, what would have happened is nothing, because the stock is trading at 15. The option is worthless because you can just buy the stock at $15. You don't need the call option. So it's kind of a pointless trade, right? If the stock goes from 10 to 15, if it goes from 10 to anything below 15 or below, it's worthless going from here to here. However, let's say it goes to $16. Let's say the stock goes to $16. Right there. Let's say instead of 15, it ends on the strike date at a price of $16. Well, what's happened in that situation, since you've paid a dollar premium to buy the $15 call option, is you broke even on that trade, right? Because you are able to buy shares of the company for $15. You paid a dollar for that right. That adds up to $16. So you broke even on that trade. Now, anything above 16 is profit. And what's really interesting is the way the profit compounds is very quick and rapid. So let's say it was that the strike date happened, right? And the stock was trading at $17. So if it was trading at $17, you actually doubled your money because you paid a $1 premium to buy this options contract. Really, since everything in options is multiplied by 100 because it covers 100 shares, you really paid $100. But if the stock was trading at 17, you can buy it at 15 based off of how many call options you have. You can buy a certain number of shares. So you can either do that yourself. You can either exercise the option and get the shares and pay $15 for it, and then they're trading at 17. You could then sell those shares, or you could just sell the call option before the expiration date actually goes through. And it would probably be trading for around $2 at that point, right? Because there's $2 of intrinsic value built into the call option because you're paying. And we can see this with, let's look at a cheaper stock. What's a cheap stock? Let's see, what are some of my favorites? Let's pull up a watch list. I'm sure that I have. Okay, here's a good example, actually. We'll look at AG. This is a silver mining company, but it'll get the point across, right? So looking at the November 19th strike date, if you look at, say, this stock is trading at $13, so let's look at the $9 strike date. That's $4 difference between the strike price, which is $9, and the actual price the stock is trading at. And so the premium is going to be about $4 because you're essentially just saying, hey, let me pay you $4 now for the right to buy this thing for $4 cheaper than it currently is later. So that tends to be how it is when you buy deep in the money call options. But if you were buying an out of the money call option with this stock, you'd be paying, since it's trading at $12.91, if you wanted to buy a $13.50 call option, you'd be paying about 40 cents a premium. There's no guarantee that this option is going to be worth anything when this expiration date hits, right? The expiration date for this is November 19th. This option could be worth nothing. However, if the stock moved up dramatically to a much higher price, say, since this is $13.50, say it moved up to $17.50, that's a $4 difference. Then these options would be worth about $4 each. And you'd be making a lot more buying these for 40 cents and then moving to $4. That would 10x your money than you would buying this stock at $12.91 and it moves to 17. That's less than a 50% increase. So you can see how options really do leverage what you get when you're trading them. So let's continue this example real quick. And Stephen Orr says PROG. We will look at that in 1 second. Let's say you were buying this stock 15 and then it went to 18. It went to 18. So you would be tripling your money in that situation, right? 17 would double it. 18 would triple it because 18 is $3 above where the initial strike price was, and you only paid $1 premium, so now it would be worth $3. So you can make quite a bit with options. That's the point I'm trying to get across. So there you go. Hopefully that was a decent explanation. It wasn't the best. If I had time to prepare something, I could have thought about how I wanted to talk about it, but that was just kind of off the cuff. There are a lot of moving parts with it, so it's tough to make sure that people are getting it. But hopefully that was decent, and we did get above 150 likes. Nice. That's good to see. So we've already hit our goal for the stream today. But if we want to add to any more likes on this video, we could. So Stephen Orr is looking at PROG. PROG, we are getting closer, unfortunately, to 350. This is not what I wanted to see. Unfortunately, a lot of these stocks, we'll pull up DWAC again. Whoops. DWAC is still just hovering around 65.50. But yeah, a lot of these stocks have been suffering a little bit. What's going on with PHUN? Have 767 shares at $8.03 average. Should I average down today or what? I'm down 50% stocks right now. $3,100 helps, says Danny Vabich. So obviously I don't give financial advice on the channel, but looking at PHUN, it's really not the best to see this thing hovering below $4. $4 is supposed to be acting as a support for us. It was earlier in the morning. However, we've started trending down and are now stuck below 4. So it's really not great to see that. With PHUN, something you can do to protect your downside if you're interested. This isn't, I'm not recommending it to anyone. It depends on what your average price, $8. So you could sell an $8 call option for November 19th, try to get back a little bit of capital, but that really does cap off your gains. You couldn't really make much money on it, right? You'd be selling it for about 15, maybe 20 cents per contract. So that averages out to 15 or 20 bucks when you multiply that by 100, but it wouldn't help too much. Yeah, that's a tough situation, down that much on PHUN. So what we're looking at with PHUN, the likelihood that it's going to rise is really contingent upon what happens to DWAC. Really, with DWAC, we want to see this move off of Trump saying something, some kind of catalyst, moving DWAC up, and PHUN tends to trade in sympathy with DWAC. That's a situation in which I could see DWAC and PHUN moving up together. Otherwise, it's looking unlikely that PHUN will be moving up on its own, right? It could obviously have a little pump of its own because it is a low market cap. So there is the potential. If we look at the market cap for PHUN, there's the potential that it could move up. If I buy $3,000 more now, will it bring my average down to 601? I think it will. I think it should do about that. Yeah, somewhere around there. It'd be close. Be somewhere in the sixes. But yeah, small market cap. But it depends on if you think that PHUN is that your highest conviction play right now. Do you think that it's most likely to move up over the coming days? Or do you think it could continue sinking? Depends. It will is what I'm saying. Yeah. So that could be good. I mean, 601. The thing is, 601 is still a bit far from where we are, right? The last when we had this pump off of 4 last time, we only got up. The highest we got was 576. So it's tough to say. It's possible though. I think that we are going to have to see what happens with DWAC. So really can't give financial advice on it. I mean, if it is up to you, and you're going to have to decide what your risk tolerance is. Are you willing to risk that additional 3,000 on the chance that PHUN starts moving up? I mean, yeah, the fact that it's fallen 50%, if this is a long-term conviction play for you, then then you could be making some money if it starts moving up over the long term. So Danny Beach, my friend's average is 1944. Haha, he's pissed. Yeah, that's not good. Trump's app is now linked to a public company, is severely constrained in what he can and can't say or speak about without being in potential violation of securities laws. This is Kitchener Leslie. Yeah. Yep, that is true. Yeah, when companies go public, it's you're typically not supposed to pump them. So he might be keeping quiet for that reason. That is possible. Yeah. Yep. So, yep, and 156 likes. Nice. We have done very well with this stream. We've only got 7 minutes left, so we can look at any stocks you guys want for any closing views for this this stream. We've got only 7 minutes left, so we've done pretty good. We've looked at quite a bit. We've talked about Shiba Inu, Dogecoin. We looked at a bunch of these really small market cap companies. We looked at PHUN, LCID, PROG, DWAC, even Tesla, which I will pull up. I will pull up Tesla real quick. But all-time highs, it looks like today. Tesla's been doing great, making all-time highs, even during the past couple of minutes. Just 4 minutes ago, we were at all-time highs. So Tesla's been killing it this past couple of days. Couldn't his son mention he's going to run again and then boom, take off on PHUN? That could do it. Danny Beach says, yeah, that could do it. That would be maybe, right? Maybe. I'm not sure what the legality of that would be, but it seems like the kind of thing that could happen. But he might want to save that announcement for later. Who knows? DATS, says Hugo Marcias. We'll look at DATS. Oh, wow. This one did just start pumping just a little bit ago. On big volume, up 3% on the day. What happened? That shares rise on launch a new social network. So it looks like their social network has been going well. And yeah, they did pump up a bit on the 28th, but they've since subsided. Now they may be moving up a little bit more. So let's see what happens over the past year. Okay, they've been just doing good. They've been doing well. DATS, let's see. Market cap. $160 million market cap. Still a small company. That's good. That means they have room to grow. They've got room to go up. So that's nice to see. And this could be good. So let's pull it up. Let's see what they're all about. So on Market Watch, what have we got? So, operates as a communication software company. Its product, DatChat Messenger and Private Social Network, is a mobile application that gives users the ability to communicate with privacy and protection. Okay, so that could be good. So, Stephen Orr, thoughts on MMAT? We'll take a look at MMAT. Up 12% on the day, not bad. Earnings are coming out soon on the 8th. That's nice. So 90 days, all right. They haven't been doing great over the past 90 days, but over the past year, very well, right? 10x over the past year. They were at 50 cents. Now they're above $5. That's incredible. That's awesome. And it looks like they just did a stock. It looks like a reverse split. So there we go. Nice. All right. So MMAT. Let's pull that up here on Market Watch and see what their deal is. Metamaterials. Oh, I think we were looking at this one a while ago. Are they in the metals? Functional materials. Its technology platform enables the global brands to deliver products to customers in consumer electronics, 5G communication, health and wellness, aerospace, automotive, and clean energy. The company was founded in 2011 and is headquartered in Canada. So, manufacturing and development of functional materials. That's a good industry. That sounds promising. MMAT. I have heard of MMAT. May have bought into them at one point, but I don't still hold them. So $1.43 billion market cap. All right, now 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. 1 second. We'll pull back up the chart, though. 1 second, guys. Okay, we're back. That was a quick. I just had to check something. Something was making a weird noise. Ambition 2020 says my silence means I'm holding Lucid. Live to fight another day. Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, always don't risk everything all in one play. So Tesla says Dark Passenger, which we did look at very briefly. Very cool what Tesla's doing. Making looks like all-time highs just a couple of minutes ago. Now we're moving back down a little bit, but very cool. I'm glad I'm still holding Tesla. Volume is low, says Daniva Beach. I believe you're talking about PHUN. DWAC to run national marketing campaign on Barstool Sports. Okay, that would definitely boost up a little bit. Though it is interesting how many people on Barstool Sports. Well, here's the thing. That's a twofold campaign, right? Obviously, when they run a campaign like that, they're trying to get new users and whatnot, but they might also be trying to get investors in the stock. So how many people on Barstool Sports are investing? Is it mostly college kids who are on Barstool Sports? I'm not sure. I don't follow it myself, but volume is low. CXDC bankrupt. Let's take a look. CXDC real quick. Pull that up. So bankrupt. Are they really bankrupt? Oh, it looks like they probably just something happened to them. So to be delisted on the 29th. So looks like that was to happen a bit ago. So it looks like they might not even be trading anymore. Look, no, they still have. Well, they haven't really moved today that much. It's been very sporadic and low volume. So maybe this one's gone. CXDC, Kitchener Leslie, Dat Chat, Trump connection. Okay. But we buy DWAC because Trump wins. All right, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens with it. It looks like it's near the lowest day. I'm still holding mine. Up 6K overall, but down 390 on the day. Not super worried about it. I'm happy with DWAC above 65. Hopefully, we'll throughout the day, once the stream ends, we'll hopefully start moving back up towards 70. Same with PROG. It's unfortunate. A lot of these stocks, we're leaving them in not great ways. Unfortunately, Lucid's back on a little bit of a downward spurt right here. Lucid's down a little bit. PHUN is down a little bit. All the stocks that we're watching today are red, unfortunately. PROG hitting 350 again. Not great. I'd have much preferred if we started hitting $4 as a resistance than hitting 350 as a support, but sometimes that's just how it goes. This is just the morning. We still got all day today and all week this week for these stocks to come back. We're going to have to see if we can't do it, but we're going to have to do that in the next stream. We've got 158 likes on this one. Maybe we could bump it up to 160 before the stream ends. But other than that, guys, I had fun hanging out. It was great watching the markets with you guys today. Feel free to join us tomorrow because we do this every morning starting at 9. I was a little bit late today. It was 9:05 when I actually started the stream, but I just woke up a little bit later than usual today. So I'll try to get better about that. And we did get to 160 likes. Thank you guys very much. New record for likes on these streams. So awesome to see. And great hanging out with you guys watching the market. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, hopefully. Other than that, have a great day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.